Welcome to the flat. It's round 18, the review. Jesse and Dylan about to unpack all of the wonderful, wonderful AFL that took place across the weekend. Jesse, how you doing, my man?
I am well. Forgive me. I'm just sharing everything to the relevant Instagram stories so people know that we are live. Forgive us, we're a little bit late, but round 18 is in the books, Dylan. Finals edge nearer and nearer. And I feel like we're eliminating teams from the, what was that look for?
The edge.
Oh, okay. I'll let that one through to the keeper. We're eliminating teams from the premiership race week by week.
Oh, okay. You've got some goss on that, have you? Who are you eliminating?
I don't know if it's goss. I think everyone saw Geelong get pantsed in the second half and lose a bunch of players.
Should that bring us to winners and losers?
I think it's a seamless segue.
It's a seamless segue. I don't think there's any, we don't need to be too coy about that, do we? Geelong are definitely the absolute out and out loser of the round, and their season is
teetering.
Cooked.
Yeah, I think
Cooked too strong.
No, I think when you're Geelong, a club of that stature coming off a grand final, it's premiership or bust, right?
Yeah.
Really, for where they're at. And so I think now we're approaching the point. Well, no, we are at the point where I think that's gone.
Can you talk me through this? Because you specifically called this, and I'm not saying that you're... No, but you called that they were going to drop off a little bit. I was a little bit more optimistic about what they could do this year. I tipped them to finish in the top four. I think I tipped them to finish fourth. I think you had them down in seventh or eighth.
Yeah, I reckon it was sixth or seventh.
And it was. I remember you saying that exact thing, that teams that get beaten heavily in a grand final struggle the next season. What do you think the psychology behind that is? Put you on the spot there.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm actually not even sure if that's what's happening with Geelong right now. I think they have gone. It's a few things at once. I think the fixture has been brutal over this little period, right?
Yeah.
So they've had one win over the Gold Coast Suns, who everyone's beating.
I actually agree, on the sense that I don't think this period has actually been that bad.
Sure.
They've lost a lot of games, but they've kind of lost to good teams and it's been close.
What the reality is that they're in right now is they've dropped so many points that top four becomes really hard.
Yeah.
And once you're not in that real conversation anymore, you're kind of eliminated as being a primary contender. Then you look at Jeremy Cameron, Jack Henry, Tanner Bruin. I'm not sure the prognosis on all of those guys.
Brian Myers.
Yeah, that's true. And Jeremy Cameron being he'd be the big one out of that three.
Of course.
Can they win the flag without him? I'm not sure.
I don't know. They always even though I was so big on them in the preseason, at the same time, I always feel like Geelong come into a season slightly without the exact tools of the competitors. That sounds strange to say about a Geelong team. They have incredible players, but they don't have, I don't know, there's something about their list makeup of their 23 that feels it does have a nice balance to it, but it's lacking star quality mids and the depth of mids and stuff like that. It always feels a little bit they'd be pulling it together here if they won it, but they're such a good club. They seem to be able to do it, and they work. I think Chris Scott works really well around getting the maximum out of specific archetypes of players, building their game style around a Jeremy Cameron who's very unique, and Ollie Dempsey. They've kind of made little plays around him, Patrick Dangerfield, these types of players. Yeah.
Well, we got a Blair in the chat saying the Cats missing all their small forwards doesn't help. So you just said it with Myers. Stengel would be another one.
Stengel is a
player.
I mean, whatever's sort of happened to him since 2022, they really haven't had the best of him since then, have they? Myers needs to be in that team as that creator.
Yeah.
Manda's probably the only one that has been there fairly consistently.
Probably career best season too.
Yeah. Imagine if they had all of those guys fit and firing.
Yeah.
There's Jack Martin too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, if you consider him a small, it kind of is. He's about 6'1", I think. But
true.
Either way, I think whatever you think of that 23 was good enough to play in a grand final last year, even with obviously missing some players. It's just that the run home, even if it is relatively soft coming home, I don't think for the top four is there for them anymore. And once they get there, can they do it without a Jeremy Cameron when you've got Fremantle and Brisbane looking so far ahead of the rest of the competition?
I think it was a throw at the stumps with Cameron.
Yeah, absolutely.
They were on that sort of outer periphery. Winners, Jesse. Who are we saying? I think there's probably an obvious one here too.
Yes, the Fremantle Football Club.
They were irresistible on Thursday night. Absolutely incredible in that game.
Kind of a statement as much as anything. I suppose that why they're in the winners category, I mean, they win most weeks, right? But this week, obviously, it was first versus seconds, back against the wall at halftime.
Yeah.
Scored 100 points and a half, obliterated the team that's meant to be their best challenger on paper.
So what you've just said there off the top, I think that's the really important thing here, because I reckon if they had just steamrolled Sydney and won this game by 5-6 goals, like just like a comfortable sort of victory, I wouldn't have had them so much in the winner.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that they didn't kick a goal until half time, and then what they did after that sort of response is the thing that I think like puts them into that. That makes me just so much more confident of them in general.
Yes.
Than if they just want like a general home win. I don't think Sydney's form has actually been that good. Like, do we have them as the second seed?
No.
Probably not right now.
No, I don't think so. I think Fremantle would obliterate them in a grand final. I think there's a huge gap there.
I think there's a huge gap
for
too.
Mental resilience in addition to quality. Sydney's quality is fantastic, don't get me wrong. But I think the balance part, I think Brisbane is the only hope that a West Coast fan has of Fremantle not winning the premiership this year.
No Hawthorn?
I would put Hawthorn as a half chance. I reckon there's 2.5 contenders. Where Hawthorn come into the mix, I don't think they're as good as those top two teams, and certainly not as good as Fremantle.
Do you think Hawthorn's better than Sydney? Because I do.
That's a tougher one. Because on like actual ability of players, I'm not sure. In terms of balance and system in September, yes. But also the MCG factor is where Hawthorn's a sneaky chance. So Hawthorn could... so I put them behind the top two teams, Fremantle and Brisbane, as premiership fancies. But let's say they get a Sydney in week 1 and win. They get a home prelim at the MCG. That places them against a Fremantle or a Brisbane at the MCG. Now, I'd probably still tip against Hawthorn, but you'd have to give Hawthorn a chance at that ground, and then that flows into a grand final at the MCG.
Okay, so let's hone in on... Let's fast forward a little bit to finals, and you've got Fremantle finish on top, Sydney finish second, Hawthorn finish third, and the Brisbane Lions finish fourth, which is how it sits at the moment.
Yep.
Do you think... Like that game between FREO, where you're sort of placing Brisbane as the second seed in this conversation to FREO, what is the most favourable thing for Fremantle in that situation? Are they better off to win or lose that first game?
The qualifying final against Brisbane? Oh, I think it's always better to win. Yeah, I don't know if there's any argument that it's worse.
I know. I'm going deep into the psychology part of it here, and I just like imagine this world where, like, if we assume that Brisbane were to come back and make the grand final again, like, are you better to win, or like, do you get that reinforcement by beating them, or is it scarier because they come back and they get a second crack at you?
It's hard to speculate. It'd be interesting.
Yeah.
In my, I predicted every game of the season in a video last week, and I had Brisbane beating Fremantle in week 1, and then Fremantle getting them in the grand final. Because
I think I've come around to agreeing with you on the fact that the only team that can actually match it with FREO from a talent perspective, I think Hawthorn have some, like, there's some parts of there's some parts of Hawthorn's game that are actually better than FREO, like certain things. I think their control and their kicking, their precision kicking and stuff like that is better. I think Brisbane's the only team that it's like we can stack the 23 players up against each other, and I think maybe you could make an argument that Brisbane's is better. Yeah. They're the only one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking it's Fremantle. And just about every
I'm not saying that it is Brisbane. I'm saying they're the only one you can make an argument that their overall 23 is better.
Yeah, I'm with you. We have some people in the chat here. Swans could defo win the flag, more experienced than FREO. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I mean, you're right about the experience part. How would the Swans react in a grand final with past trauma? That's a great question. Again, you probably don't want to, as in not disagreeing with you as such, but I don't want to myself bias against them because of their grand final performances. I'm just not sure they're as good as Fremantle. I
don't think they're as good as Fremantle, and there's that as well. I think you have to have a little bit of a look at this. So there's a part of this performance that actually had me thinking, is this a bit of a, like, not a trauma of the grand final that brought it up, but like, what is the mental fragility of that Sydney group? Why these sorts of things happen? Like, they've conceded 15 goals in a half of football.
Yeah, 100 points.
But then there's another part of me just going like, FREO were just absolutely on fire, and they had everything going for them. Like, they had the crowd behind them. They had all of that. And it was just a barrage. I don't know if it's as much that it's Sydney's mentally weak or just how strong FREO were and what was against them.
Yeah, that's probably fair. I mean, Sydney were playing well for half the game.
Yeah. Well, they were struggling probably more than that.
Yeah,
like they were.
Yeah, I mean they were in front with 10 minutes to go. I think Sydney.
Yeah, they were.
I think Fremantle hit the lead
Yeah.
with about 10 minutes to go.
They weren't, to be fair, after half time, they were clearly the weaker team. From that early in the game, it wasn't 10 minutes to go where Sydney started to fall apart.
Absolutely.
It was just the beginning of the game, the very start of that game. I would make an argument that Freo could have been further down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, fair enough. I just want to get to the super chat here. We haven't even reached the Fremantle Sydney game yet.
We haven't.
Kareem, thank you so much for the super chat. He says, just want to say Dylan's breakdown video on Cody Walker was A grade.
Oh, I appreciate that.
That's on the Dylan Alexander YouTube channel.
It's nice to get a nice comment.
Yeah, it's true.
That's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
What else have we got in here about that game? Hawks defense is top tier. I mean, I agree with that. The Barras battle, Sicily battle.
Carl Amon has just been ruled out, I think, for the home and away season.
Has he?
Yeah, well, he's going having surgery, and I think they said they're aiming to get him back for September, which implies he's out for the home and away season.
Not ideal. Very much not ideal. That's a tough pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Yeah, you've read those ones. Did you read the widescreen TV?
Don't think so.
Sydney are a key defender and midfielder away from being a genuine chance. Their big three mids can shut down. You can shut down one against the best teams. They can't compete against average teams.
Fun fact, did you know it's actually widescreen TV? There's no C. But we should answer the comment. I agree. And a midfield, are they a midfielder away from a genuine chance? If you've got all their full cohort of midfielders.
I don't think they need another midfielder.
No, the key defender one's valid.
Perhaps you could make it an argument that they maybe some depth in there. I do think I just think they're. I hate this cliche term of saying your bottom six isn't good enough, but they do have a fairly exposed. The guys that come in the Sheldricks and stuff, I think struggle a little bit for sure.
Yeah.
And definitely the key defender. I would 100% agree with that. Jesse, did you know that I read a rumour from 3AW? They posted this. Somebody on 3AW said that James Hird effectively has the Essendon job.
Wow.
And I'm running with it.
Yeah, okay.
I don't actually know. It's a rumour.
Interesting. It's very early. No, you wouldn't even start interviews until September. Right? Or even post-September, because usually the highest rated assistants are at teams that are going deep into September.
Yeah.
So it's common for a coach to be announced first week of October.
So I completely agree with everything there, but I do have this sort of nagging feeling that James Hird just doesn't get involved in, not him personally, but they don't get James Hird involved. He doesn't get involved. There does feel like there is this inevitability, we're going through a process.
Yeah.
But it'll be him.
It does feel like that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'll reserve my criticisms for when it actually happens.
True.
But, yeah, it feels a little, what's the word? Is negligent too strong to not be undergoing this process thoroughly?
Yeah.
And if that is true,
because
then
they just gave it to Hird, it would look too negligent, is what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. So I'll hold off on the criticisms until it's confirmed. I hope that's not the case.
How are you going to feel if this, let's say this rumour is true? And we love rumours.
There's a little part of me that wants to see it happen.
Yeah, me too.
I was against it. I was against it.
I am against it still, but I still want to see it.
I know there's a little bit of, not car crash TV, but it's just fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But I bristled at the idea of reinstating a coach. I think this is layered, but reinstating a coach who's associated with the low point of your football club. And while I'm not necessarily putting that all on James Hird, optically, I'm not sure about it. Then there's the secondary part of, is he the most qualified? Qualified's not the right word, but obviously he's been out of the coaching game for a little while. Again, we're sort of talking about things that get saturated a lot in the media. I think it's very layered, all the reasons, but there's a little part of me that's what if it works though?
I know.
What if it works?
And why does it feel as much as I hate it? Because I'm thinking about it from the perspective that the Bombers are it's a clear desperate move, and therefore it's sort of wrong. You know what I mean? I'm almost working backwards in my head. I'm
it's a bit of a Hail Mary, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a Hail Mary. There's no way this is actually going to work. But why does he feel even for me, that this is the most likely thing that's going to work? Because it's almost like they're in such a shit.
Yeah.
They're in such a hole that this is the only thing that could possibly work, even though it's such a low chance that it'll work.
Yeah. It's an interesting one because part of the argument would be you associate James Hird with the best version of Essendon. As a player, that 2000 premiership, he won at Brownlow, didn't he?
James Hird?
Yeah, in the 90s. Yeah, he did.
96.
Before my time, but yes.
Corey McKernan was actually also an equal winner that year, but was suspended.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
Go on.
But you associate that, or you also associate James Hird with the last time Essendon was any good.
Yeah.
Really. And there's that romantic notion, or even at least like cognitive bias there. But then you also think the list is going to be full of 20-year-olds who don't remember any of that.
Yeah.
Right? So it'd be interesting to see to what extent it galvanizes them.
So then it has to come back to, is he actually a really good coach? And like nobody really knows that.
Yeah.
Nobody really knows that. Like there's just an idea that this guy was a phenomenon as a player back in his day, had a somewhat of a tasty little run as coach, and then it all went pear-shaped, and then we're kind of just putting the whole thing on that. So it's a tricky one. Widescreen TV, that we've learnt that today. 3AW reported at an Essendon function, Nate Caddy's dad said Nate was going to resign with Essendon.
Resign.
I always do that. They get me. Resign.
Yeah.
Resign with Essendon, and Hird was going to be the coach. Was about a week before Nate re-signed. Now, I did see this. So this has all come from, I think Nate Caddy was at like a local football club function or something. Is that right? And then he said this.
He actually didn't catch it.
He sort of dropped.
He has resigned though, right? That happened.
Resigned.
Yeah, he has resigned.
He's resigned.
Yeah.
So apparently his dad basically like almost like spilt the beans.
Okay.
That like Caddy was going to re-sign and Hird will be the coach.
Oh, okay. The 1-2 punch.
The 1-2 punch.
Oh, jeez.
And now everyone's like, okay, like, so Essendon's position there would be that like, no, we haven't made the decision, but does he know more?
Well, then I would question, if we're going into such a tangent here, but I would question like, what kind of organisation leaks that sort of stuff to players' dads?
Essendon.
Maybe, I suppose they're going through contract negotiations, so they're sitting to like honest questions.
They would have to be telling that to Nate Caddy.
Like,
They'd have to be saying like, this is what we're going to do.
Yeah, right. I suppose that is possible. Weird.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh, this is
a bit of a shit show, but it might just work.
Yeah, well, it'll be fun.
132 in the chat. Thanks for being here, guys. Bong Choi's just joined us.
Do you know what I love about that, Jesse? We started off like right before we went on, we're like, we should try to get like really snappy into the games.
Yeah.
Like, let's try and get into the games. And then like 20, 30 minutes later again, we're talking about fucking James Hird and rumours from 3AW about Nate Caddy. We will... Jesse, you have something to show.
I want to just show people what truefooty.com.au looks like today, because it has evolved a little bit, okay? So I'll just wait until we have the screen record working. It is working. Okay.
It is so working.
I'm just going to briefly show people what it now exists on the site, okay? So this is the homepage. There's a games and tools section. We have some premium tools for paid members, but we also have a bunch of free games that you can just make a membership with truefooty.com.au and you can take part in these games. There's a reason that a membership is necessary. First of all, we want you to comment. So we got forums up here, which I'll show you shortly, but let's pick something. The 2027 ladder predictor. This is a little fun one here. You can
little
use
game, little tasty little game.
Yeah, basically, this is an average of what people as True Footy members think will happen next year. So you can go ahead and you can submit your own future ladder prediction. This is a little teaser, and that's an average across the site. So West Coast up into 14th. We've only had 4 submissions so far, but everyone gets one, and you can change it as well. What else have we got, Dylan? We have some quizzes. We have a game rater. I think I've shown people this, but this is a little IMDb rating of the best games this season. Easter Monday ranked number 1 with 9.8, which is very tasty. We have a play rater. This actually is my favorite. Okay, you can rate plays 1 to 99 like in FIFA.
I haven't even used that function yet.
Oh, well.
I've been so invested in the draft side of it. And I must say, Jesse, can I just come in and say this quickly before you show that? We have a mock.
We do.
We have a mock dropping this week. We've got a video coming out, and then I assume that will be directly updated onto the site.
Absolutely. Top 5 plays in the game rated by True Footy members. I won't get you to guess because it's going to take too long. Bontempelli number 1. No Nick Dacos in the top 5. We have Isaac Heaney number 2.
Nick Dacos not in the top 5.
So I want to point out it only factors in a player when you have 3 or more votes, and we have 3 or 4 votes across most players there. So we want people to take part, and we can build a little ranking.
So just to be clear, there we did not have Nick Dacos in our top 5 ranking. That is user voted.
Everyone, including us, get to submit their own. Okay.
I'd like to think that our members knew ball a bit more than that, Jesse.
Exactly.
That's a red flag.
You can submit your own All-Australian team. This is the site consensus.
Rogie just said he rated like 400 players. He's
similar.
carrying us.
Yeah, I've done that as well. Well done, Rogie. So you got this is the All-Australian team voted by the True Footy audience. You have Luke Jackson on the bench. You've got Cal Wilkie, Nazai Wanganeen-Miller. You don't have to be a member to see this, so I'll let you check it out in your own time. We've got some premium tools. This one, we've got the Rising Star. So I haven't submitted my order. Oh, no, sorry, I have. Sorry, that is my order. But this is the consensus. Jagger Smith, number 1. Dursby 2. Harry Dean 3. Roby 4. Then your boy Trembath in number 5.
I think that's fair.
We have 5 submissions there. So we want, if you become a member, there's unpaid memberships as well. You can submit your nominations as well, which is a lot of fun.
I mean, as the season goes on, we finish these last few rounds. Like I think the Dursma Jagger Smith rivalry will be heating up.
Yeah. Exactly.
I think that's still a live chance. Could go either way.
We have redrafts. You can, at this point in time, I'm going to keep adding more. You get the 2025 redraft. You can go to 2024 and you can redraft players. Let's say that I pick Harvey Langford at pick 2. He is now a North Melbourne player instead of Foss.
No.
I just randomly pick one.
No. Bad example. Bad example, Jesse. Bad example.
This is exciting too. Our young talent ranking series that we did, 18 teams, rated 0 to 4 points each player, is now on the website.
Wildly popular.
Popular. Yeah, no one hated any of that. This is the site leaderboard. Okay, so the difference I made is you can now add 5-point players for superstars.
Yep.
Richmond number 1. That's the same as we had in our series.
Yep.
West Coast currently 2nd ahead of North Melbourne. Again, we're still trying to get more people to vote and build the points. So these premium tools are just for paying members at this point. There's also a best 23 builder that you can use. You can also, for those unaware, we track trade rumors as they come in. Dylan has his draft hub here.
Mate, take me to the simulator.
Yeah, well, or the draft simulator here as well. So you can actually, I don't want to show them because it still has our mock draft preloaded in there that we did earlier today.
Oh, does it?
It does, but that's all right.
Can they see that?
They can right now because it's still on my screen, but I've moved it. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
And then you have your trait tracker. This is for trade and draft pass members only. I won't scroll any further, but you got Neocleus with the highest average. You have Leo Steed. Basically, these are the best performed players in the champs, in your opinion?
Yeah, a combination of best performed at also with AFL attributes in mind. So it's not just, there's a portion of you come away from a game of football and it's like someone's had 30 disposals, for example, and kicked a goal. Like they've probably had an impact on that game of football. But this is really delving into the AFL attribute side of it. Like what do they do in these games that will cross over to the next level?
The very last thing I want to show people is that now for True Footy Trade and Draft Pass members, you can submit your own draft consensus, draft rankings, right? So people can do 1 to 15. They can do 1 to 80. They can rank as many players as are there in the draft. You submit it and we have an average rank. So we have 9 members who have done this.
So we're going to have a good idea at the end, of kind of who are the most popular players in the draft as well, who clubs supporters want.
Exactly. Dougie Cochran, Cody Walker, the top 2 in that order.
Yep.
Archie Butler, Harry Van Hatten, Gus Teixeira round out the top 5 in that order. It's very early and you can change your submission. You can just hit update.
Is that how the mock's going to go?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I can't remember.
He forgot.
There you go, guys. So thank you. I just wanted to show you that and you'll get our lovely faces back on screen momentarily.
We are so back, Jesse.
We are.
We are so back. And we should get stuck into these games. We've got so much to talk about tonight. Fremantle, way back on Thursday night, defeated the Sydney Swans 111 to 73. But if you only saw the score of this game, you wouldn't know the topsy-turvy nature of it. The fact that Fremantle did not kick a goal in the first half and were able to put together 15 majors in the second half. It was really, if you look at all of the statistics, even the player statistics in this game, anything that Sydney did from a positive point of view all came in the first half. So they scored 3 centre clearance goals. They all came in the first half.
Wow.
Overall, Sydney led the game for 101.16 minutes, which is actually crazy.
When you lose by 38 points.
I was going to say, you lose by 38 points. They weren't even in this game. This game was not particularly close. Isaac Heaney had 16 first half disposals and he had 9 after half time. Papley kicked 2 goals in the first half and then barely really came into the game, barely touched it after that. And if you look at FREO, on the other hand, Alex Pearce and Jordan Clark were the 2 highest rated players in quarter one for the FREO Dockers. So it was really a tale of two halves here.
Absolutely, and that's putting it lightly. Just to cover off a few things there, contest is where Fremantle battered them over the course of the game. They were plus 25, plus 15 in ground balls, plus 8 in clearance, and stoppage scoring was 50 to 24. So it was really around the ball.
It was around the ball. I feel like they actually, like, if you look at all the real like key statistics of this game, like I feel like Freo pretty much did edge them in everything. Like the forward pressure and contest, like you said, like it was 146 to 121 for contested possession. The inside 50 tackles, 15 to 10. So you can you can feel that, you can almost like sense in that, like the energy. And if you watch the game, the energy that Freo played with, particularly in the second half, the wave that they were coming out, like you can almost feel those inside 50 tackles, that press that they were putting on. The clearances around the ground were even at 24 to 21, but centre clearances were 15 to 10. And I think like that shows like a more damaging clearance, for example, compared to like the even nature it was from around the ground. Marks inside 50, Freo had 14 of those, which is a pretty big number. Contested marks, Freo had 12, which is a massive number as well.
They've got the personnel to do that.
They do. Like sort of just, anything that came in this game from a competitive, robust nature came from Freo for me.
Absolutely. In the last quarter, they've got so many match winners, but Sarong and Brayshaw, who are kind of like almost become the lesser lights.
They have.
It's a bit of a stretch, but like,
they kind of have.
What I mean? Yeah. But their last quarter was huge. They combined for 19 disposals, 505 metres gained, 9 inside 50s and 9 score involvements. Brayshaw himself had 3 direct goal assists. So like they can hurt you in so many different ways, can't they? It's not just Bolton and Reid.
Brayshaw's such a tricky player because like there's a part of Brayshaw that I think like he's kind of, he's a little bit boring, he's a little bit meat and potatoes, but he's sort of like, he's kind of unique at the same time. Like he's strangely quite tall, like he's 186 centimetres. Okay, so he's above average on like the generic sort of midfielder. And he's such a good runner. He doesn't have elite speed, but he's such a good runner that he just covers the ground and gets little blocks in. He's so good as a defensive type midfielder. He loves a tackle. And he's not strangely, but like he's kind of, I guess the thing that makes him a unique, well-rounded player is the fact that he's so good on the ball as well. Like he makes such good decisions with the footy. I feel like the one that's actually in a really strange way has become like he doesn't have to do as much anymore, particularly outside the contest situations, as Caleb Sarong. Like he used to carry this team from a contest point of view. There's other guys now.
Yeah.
He just sort of plays a bit of a role.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They're very hard to beat. We have Shoe Snatch and Willie, as a member of the channel, says Freo feels stronger than Sydney in 24 were. What are your thoughts? I'll take you back to that time. Around this time, Sydney were distantly the best team in the comp. They would then go on to have a horrific run of form. And then sort of, they ended up making the grand final, obviously, but
getting smacked up by Brisbane.
They
but
did,
that was
but there was
season,
a time they looked so much better.
They did. I think you could make a lot of. Most seasons have a pretty standout team, like up until this point. Like I think Collingwood in 25 were that team. I think they were on the same.
I don't know. I feel like Sydney were particularly distant, just against the next best. They were ended up meaning nothing, but.
I'm just saying it about that sort of like round 15 to like, what are we at? We're at round 18 now. So we've had a bit more data size, but no, I'm with you. No, like 100%. I mean, they've pretty much battered away any challenger. They had that little blip against the GWS Giants who I wouldn't say like at all that is a bad loss based on the football that the Giants have been able to put up. Like I still think they're in the only volatile situation, the way that I look at this from Fremantle, is that they are still a relatively like young side that hasn't had a ton of finals experience, and they have to manage the fact that they are so much better than everyone. They're not coming from a like plucky position. They have to deal with the fact that they have been so dominant in this season, and there's going to be tests come towards them, and they're going to have to get over those tests. Like that's it. Yeah. Which is very I don't know the word for it, but it's like it's kind of ambiguous. Like it's not a real critique or anything.
No,
but they will have to deal with it in the future. So on some level, all of these like wins up until the end of the season are not meaningless, but like you've just got to get through them.
That's true. What did you make of the taunting frees that were a factor in this game? So to spell it out. So I think it started with I've forgotten. No, it was Warner, Chad Warner lining up for goal.
Yeah, it wasn't.
It was Thursday night. I'm starting to forget the details.
I know. It was Luke Ryan.
Yes.
Luke Ryan.
And Chad Warner.
And Chad, yeah.
And then there was a second incident with Rampy and Amos.
Yep.
So
both Fremantle players
yes,
doing it.
Yes. Because Rampy had the free kick paid against him on Amos.
Oh,
so it evened out.
Oh, did I? Sorry, I thought that was the other way.
It was a while ago now.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah.
I absolutely saw the Luke Ryan one.
Yeah, so the Luke Ryan one, it's a head rub.
Yep.
I guess the question is, what do you think of that being a free kick? I believe it was brought in this year as a result of Pat Voss doing it.
Yeah,
so
it
it's all
was.
very Fremantle themed.
Yeah. I know I do.
I find the head rub so obnoxious.
Yeah,
I don't know if we should legislate against it though.
Oh, okay.
But you know what is an interesting point? I think Kate McCarthy pointed this out. Shea Bolton slaps a player on the arse. You could probably legislate that.
Yeah.
An opponent
Yeah,
in the same sort of taunting manner.
Yeah,
Maybe you could say the butt is sacrosanct.
Yeah, I do think this is a little bit like I've kind of heard this argument where it's like, oh, why can't you rub somebody's head but you can slap them on the arse, like that kind of thing. A little bit. I don't know. Do you call that like a straw man argument thing?
No, I don't think it's a straw man.
Not straw man. It's like it's one of those fallacies anyway.
Yeah.
I essentially don't think you should be able to rub somebody on the head. I think I don't think like as a taunting thing. Okay. I'm okay with that being a free kick personally because I suppose you can debate the mechanics of how it came in, and it was kind of around like Harrison Petty.
That's right. Yeah.
Being bald and like all of that kind of stuff, and like the idea of like someone doing it to somebody who is bald, but like you probably shouldn't be able to off the ball go up and start rubbing someone's head to taunt them.
Yeah.
Like getting in their face.
It does shit me when I see it, regardless of the teams involved.
Yeah.
Right? I'll say that. And I think the slap on the bum's a bit, like you could easily legislate against that.
Yeah. What was the context of that one?
I think it was all in the same incident.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Shea Bolton from, again, it's Thursday now. He comes and slaps someone on the bum. Probably Chad Warner.
Yeah, I mean, probably similar areas. I would say that there is still an argument that it's worse to touch somebody's like head area.
Yeah, so this is the distinction between the Rampy one on Amos. Rampy kind of whacks him. Like it was actually paid a high free kick.
Oh, okay.
The umpire blows the whistle. I think he was intending to do the head rub thing, but it was actually paid high contact, which was probably fair enough. There's more force in it. The Luke Ryan one was it was clearly not dangerous or a rub or anything like that.
I don't think we're talking about it from a dangerous perspective. It's more of just like, I mean, it's shithousery. Like I don't mind some shithousery, but like I suppose there is a level of like touching off the ball that you can legislate against. That's quite easy to legislate
especially if it's below the waist. That one's probably quite easily slipped through the rule book.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Before we move on, Dylan, a couple of things. First of all, I want to shout out bets.com.au.
Yeah, yes.
Because we didn't do that off the top. Bets.com.au provide game previews and predictions that are statistically and analytically driven, completely free, and also let you know which Aussie bookmakers are providing the best odds on the selected markets. The second thing I want to do, Dylan, is go to the bathroom.
That is so you, Jesse.
I'm sorry.
Just when you were building me up.
I know. So you can make some chit chat before we move into Collingwood and North Melbourne.
I'll go through some comments.
On a blockbuster Friday night. Can't
wait. Absolutely can't wait. But yeah, Dockers, they are a machine at the moment. They will just not stop winning. Lobster108 says, went to listen to Kane and Kingy recording just now. Saw it was Sam Edmund and Tom Morris filling in. Instantly exited app and loaded this up. I'm happy. Why were you picking them over us before? Unfair. Just kidding. New Heaven says, Amos was one more of a head slap than a rub. Yeah, I actually missed that one. I missed that incident. So that was the one with Rampy. Okay. Yeah, like I think that those are two different. I think like there's that clear one where you go like to rub someone's head. Like I get it. Like is it that big of a deal to rub somebody's head? Like it's not about a forceful thing. It's kind of, it is a bit sort of like invading someone's space though. And it's like, again, I don't want to do a slippery slope thing, but like how far can you take that? I don't know. It's a tricky area. I don't feel like majorly strong about it, but I think it's probably something that it's pretty easy just not to have in the game. Thanks for the super chat here from Redback Spider 72. Appreciate that, mate. FREO put 100 on them in a half. The apparently second best team in the competition. I know. I mean, I personally don't think that Sydney are the second best team in the competition. I think they got a stack of highly talented players at the top end of their list, but they're pretty unbalanced, I would say, overall. But having said that, I think, like I said off the top, I reckon the most impressive thing about Freo's win on Thursday night was the fact that they were actually challenged in the first half of that game, and particularly really early. They were able to, and I think that's a mark of this Freo team. They basically, what's that? I'm not a boxing guy, but you kind of absorb the blows, right? You absorb the punches, and Freo can do that really well. They manage games so well. They absorb punches, and then they hit you back even harder than you were hitting them. I know I kind of stuffed that up a little bit. I'm drowning here, Jesse. Get back quickly.
Were you trying to do an analogy?
I did try and do an analogy.
What was the analogy?
Well, just then I was talking about boxing, and I was like, I said Freo are good at absorbing blows and then punching you back harder.
Okay, yeah.
Well, they absorb Sydney.
I guess it's a bit of a Mayweather thing. I don't know the first thing about boxing, but I know that Mayweather is the sort of guy who lets you swing out. That's not a thing.
Sounds good.
Throw a lot of punches, takes a few rounds off early, and then once he's downloaded things about you, who annihilates you.
Shouldn't he have just downloaded those things?
Pre-game, pre-fight. You can tell we don't follow boxing at all. No, because every fight's a little bit different. He just sort of susses you out. He was a genius.
They'd have to. I reckon there's an element in that too, where he's also letting you tire yourself out.
Probably, yeah. But he is known for his boxing IQ. So he sort of works you out, and then he beats you technically.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love the mind games.
If you want any more boxing knowledge, come to
I think that is becoming a mark of this. Sorry about that. This is becoming a mark of this Freo team. They their game management is very, very strong.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I think we saw shades of that last year as well.
Yeah, we did.
Obviously not in the elimination final, but the Bulldogs game, the Collingwood game, they are good in those games.
I'm starting to see a pattern where I was probably using this against them earlier in the season where the Hawthorn game we spoke about, and there were periods of that game where Hawthorn were knocking the ball around and it was they're too good for Freo. But they lost by 5 goals.
Yeah.
So I was using that as a thing where I'm like, well, there were parts of that game where Hawthorn really dominated, but the pattern's getting too strong to actually hold that against Freo now.
Yeah.
For me. And I think the Sydney game is the same thing. It's on some level, you could make the argument that Sydney were actually the better team in this game for half of the game and could have been further in front. But on the other hand, Freo could have won this game by 10 goals. It's I don't know. Are they actually just that good?
Maybe. Gross. No, I think they probably are. Obviously, don't want to say anything that looks silly in September, but what do you think?
You haven't just said the Fremantle boxes. That's good stuff. That is very, very good stuff. Bonk Choice says Sydney are pretty injured right now, to be fair. So out of their team, they have... I'm trying to think of all the injuries. Blakey didn't play, did he?
Let's have a look at the injury list. We'll get it up so we stop guessing.
Yeah,
we fall into this trap too often.
We do. Boy says Freo's bottom 6 looked super clean compared to Sydney's. Brisbane's bottom 6 are equally good. I agree. I think if you're talking about on paper, and I think that is arguably the biggest improvement in Freo's side this year. It's actually the Johnson, Erasmus, Amos was a periphery player last year.
Yeah, he was a fringe player. Well, I don't know if he's fringe, but not fulfilling the potential.
Yeah,
right.
I actually thought he was I was close to writing him off.
Yeah, okay.
Thought he was just an average,
no good
key forward. Yeah.
Injuries for Sydney: Amati 9 weeks, Chamberlain not necessarily a big one. Laddams, McInerney's a big one.
Yep.
Logan McDonald.
Blakey did play. Someone said in the comments. So
yeah, he's not on the list. And Sam Wicks 3 to 5 also.
Don't know if that's that big of an injury list.
No, I picked out the significant ones. You have a few draftees like Max King and Heatherton, Andrews.
They wouldn't be playing anyway.
No. Oh, and Papley. Papley
played.
Yeah, he was a test. Sorry, he was on the list though.
Yeah. Yep. He played well for the first half. Yeah. So that is interesting. Do you just think, aesthetically, Josh Tracy, I think he's clearly the best key position forward in the competition right now.
Yeah.
He's absolutely dominating.
He's a brute.
Do you think just a slight rebrand for him would be... I reckon his brand is very much he looks like an enforcer. Mm-hmm. He looks scary. Mm-hmm. He should just shave the head. He's got this sort of quiff...
Yeah, he does, doesn't he?
Blonde sort of quiff type thing. It would just look he'd just look harder if he just went for the full shave.
Like a better version of Barry Hall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Better?
Maybe. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
Barry Hall was pretty good, but
I think Josh Tracy is tracking to be better.
maybe.
Yeah.
Barry Hall,
But Barry Hall was very good.
he was a good player. Yeah,
he was very
fair.
good. Yeah.
I didn't know where that was going to go,
Yeah.
but I did bring up the shaved head thing.
He also boxes.
He does.
It all
also
comes full
box.
circle.
It's so good. But I just think like he scares the shit out of me anyway. Like when he comes like absolutely just charging through with that power. Do it with a shaved head.
Maybe. He's kind of scary already. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not a lot of hair. It's a very short cut. So
Yeah.
He's kind of already got that aesthetic.
Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
That's just my advice.
Fair enough.
It's a
Yeah.
brand thing more than anything else. Let me know if you agree. Bong Choi says Kerno versus Tracy in the third quarter was...
Yep. I didn't even realise Kerno was leading the Coleman.
Yeah, I know.
I missed that. I thought
Yeah,
it was
I know.
Ben King still.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like... I think that's probably the criticism that's come his way about like not having the big games.
Yeah.
I think he probably like went some way to alleviate that a little bit, Kerno, in this game. Like he was pretty strong, I
He
thought.
described himself as a role player who kicks goals. I think that's probably about right though.
Oh.
Like he's there to be on the end of some good work and put it on the scoreboard.
Yeah, AKA also like sort of your striker, like
Yeah.
your best player, maybe.
Yeah, your
some would
Christian
say.
Benteke.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Your Erling Haaland.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I think Tracy's closer to Haaland and Kerno's
Yeah.
more of a Romelu Lukaku. I'm just throwing out random Belgian strikers.
You can tell you're like not quite. You're like you have that soccer background, but you're not quite there at the moment.
It's coming from FIFA 16.
yeah. It's coming from FIFA 16. Exactly. We've got lots of comments about this game. Lance Harper says 30 minutes in and Dill's already trying to push his shaved head agenda.
You do that.
It needs to happen.
So you.
It needs to happen. Come on. All right. Collingwood versus North Melbourne is the second game of the round. A really rare one for me. And I actually went and watched this in a pub,
I know. Saw that.
Jesse. Yeah. Because why did I do that? Because North Melbourne were finally playing on Friday night.
They've
after
driven you to
all-
drink.
Yeah, well. You were doing that thing again in this game too, where you were texting me. You're like, "Oh, they're going well. They're going to win."
Did I say that? I actually don't remember it.
You said we were going to win.
Yeah. I thought you were going to win all like prior to the game. I said
Yeah.
that to you. We saw each other on Tuesday and I said, I think North's going to win. I think they play Collingwood well. Like
Yeah.
relatively speaking, like their record against them is pretty solid. And, excuse me, I did actually recalibrate. I think I tipped Collingwood in the end because I was like, actually,
You're such a shit.
I know. That way I can just put any opinion. All my opinions are
Nothing
like,
actually matters what this guy
yeah.
says.
No, the reason I recalibrated, I was like, actually, Collingwood are going all right. They're higher than Geelong now, which feels
Crazy.
bizarre. But in the end, I did tip Collingwood. But I was nearly right. Imagine if Trembath brought down that mark. I mean, like, it was a tough chance, don't get me wrong. But just imagine the scenes if Trembath had brought that down in the dying seconds.
I'd be so
Unbelievable.
nervous that he wouldn't kick it, but I think he would.
It still would have been a sick moment,
It would- oh, it would have
regardless of
been-
what happened next.
Yeah, he's crazy how he flies into those marking contests. But I thought I liked honestly like trying to be objective here. Like I think we did pretty well. Like there's clear disappointing elements of us when we're in these situations. It's like I actually agree with you from your perspective watching the game. You would have thought we were going to win it because we should have. We just couldn't quite put them away at the end. And then in my opinion, we just kind of got Nick Dacost at the end.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest takeaways, I don't know, one of my biggest takeaways is just, it's so undeniable how good and much of a match winner Nick Dacost is.
Yeah.
This is probably the least interesting headline. Nick Dacost is good, surprise, surprise. But when the game's there to be won, there's nothing that can stop him. He's just an animal.
100%. Like we were pushing for that like goal. I think this is when we were about 9 points up. I can't remember the exact margin, but like we're a goal and a bit up and we're pushing and like we're going forward and it looked like we were the team most likely to score. And then he just off half back there, he like came out of that like contest, like just wedged his way out of there, did that little Dacos arch back thing and someone's trying to like grab him with their talons. And he's like just zoomed away, gone basically all the way through and kicked a goal. And it's
Then
like,
he laid a great tackle like moments after that.
Yeah.
In the middle of the ground. Again, like
People will get
Dacos-
pissed off about this because we're like glazing him.
Yeah, I also do think he has his detractors. You know, like he just sort of went through a patch where people were questioning his actual impact, which personally I always just thought it's probably more symptomatic of the team than it is Nick Dacost.
I think you're
he's
probably
not a stat pattern. Right?
prove right.
Yeah, but then I just think that game, for those who watched it, it was a real reminder of how good he actually is.
He's
and
putting
his
together
numbers weren't like outstanding. I think he had a goal in 28, which for him is probably a quiet
So I
night.
was actually going to say, like, that's still crazy good.
Yeah, no, that was
Big Friday night footy,
Yeah.
a goal in 28,
But
and
when
your
you
team
watch-
wins by under a goal.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
But no, outstanding performance.
Absolutely. Rogie says LDU was pretty average. I would have to agree with that. Yeah, he wasn't particularly good. Finn O'Sullivan spent some time on Dacos. I just think Dacos is so hard to stop.
Yeah.
So hard to stop. And Finn O'Sullivan has stopped some pretty damn good players this year. Merritt did a pretty good job on Butters, but Dacos is another kettle of animal. That's not a saying.
Did a massive job on Jack Graham in round 2.
Yeah. What?
I don't know. Yes. I actually wanted to get back to Spinkscapes. Barry Hall kicked 746 goals. Tracy would be lucky to get within cooey of that, as that he's 24, about to turn 24, and kicked 159 goals. A couple of things. Certainly not trying to downplay how good Barry Hall was. I don't know if Hall ever had the stature in the game that I think Tracy could get to, is my point, rather than goals. I mean, I was a kid, so maybe I'm doing him a disservice. Was he ever like the number one key forward in the game?
Well, he was like, I mean, he certainly played in an era where key forwards were more
prominent.
Yeah, absolutely. Like he played in that. Like he would have been playing up against like Jonathan Brown. But he I'm trying to think. He played in that era actually, like off the late 90s into the early 2000s, where teams started to experiment with not having top line key forwards. Like you remember West Coast, their premiership era there.
Quinton Lynch.
Ash
Hansen.
Very average.
I don't know if that was by design. I think that was just the way we were.
Even the Cats, like a little bit later, like Cam Mooney, I don't think was ever really, like he would have kicked a lot of goals for sure, but I don't think he was like top line.
Podsy
Adley, exactly.
He was pretty good, but again, we're not on that top level.
Yeah.
I thought. Yeah,
exactly. So like teams started to experiment with different sort of modes with that. I think Barry Hall was pretty damn good though.
Fair enough. Again, it was a throwaway comment, for something I'm dying, not a hill I'm dying on. But I think Tracy, in my memory of Barry Hall, I thought he was like a very good forward, but never the best in the game. Whereas I think Tracy has that in him. And I don't know if raw goals is necessarily the best metric.
Yeah.
For the impact that Josh Tracy has. Like we're talking about him as the best in the game right now. He's not in the top 3 of the column.
He's also been the best player in the game for 17 weeks. Like the best forward, the best key forward in the game for 17. Well,
he's 4th, by the way, for Coleman.
Yeah, like
he's only 1 goal ahead of Norton, and I think there is a gap there. And Norton's good.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I think Barry Hall. I mean, he's certainly got him for legacy, but I think it's hard to say that Tracy's right now is a bigger stature than Barry Hall ever was.
No, I think Tracy has the potential to exceed it. That's what I said. Yep.
So you reckon at the end of his career, Tracy will end up like a Jason Dunstall-esque figure?
Dunstall was before my time. I don't know. That's a harder one. That's a harder one.
Trying to set you up.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a harder one. I don't know.
Oh dear.
Could he be like a Matthew Lloyd in stature? Completely different style of player.
Matthew Lloyd.
Do you not think? I think Tracy has it.
It's so hard because the eras are so different.
Yeah,
so those guys,
it's a terrible comparison, Matthew Lloyd and
even the way that all those guys played was like,
even Barry Hall was actually probably a better comparison than Matthew Lloyd.
It actually, when you said Barry Hall, I was like, there is like a bit of a thing where like he comes like steaming out and everyone shits their pants
the
and like gets
physicality.
out of the way.
Whereas Lloyd was a bit more of that leading sharpshooter.
Yeah, he was silky.
Yeah,
he was silky and like just a really good set shot. We're getting off on a massive tangent here.
Yeah.
Sharpie 1991 or 1991 just dropped us a super chat. Thank you very much, mate. On Friday night, I was at a pub in Perth when Dean Cox came in and had to put up with Dockers fans tell him how much better Caleb is than Jai. Is that a fact? Is that a real story? That's incredible if true. That would be so Dockers fans too.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, they're not wrong.
Yeah. Sorry, Big Scope says Lloyd kicked 926 goals. You're going the wrong way. I probably am going the wrong way with the Lloyd one. But I also don't know if goals are the best comparison when you're looking intergenerational.
I see him more as like, at the end of his career, he'll end up as like a Brent Staker.
No. Okay.
I'm kidding.
I took that bait so good. I took that bait. I don't know what the comparison is. Maybe Barry Hall's a good comparison. I think Tracy has the potential to be better.
It does have to be considered that Spinkscapes is a West Coast fan.
Yeah.
So he doesn't want Tracy to be good.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
You do want Tracy to be good because you're a West
Unbiased.
Coast. You're a West Coast fan that wants to lay a nice, calm pillow.
Nah. I just rate Josh Tracy and have fun for 12 months probably, to be fair.
That is true. Redback Spider says Josh Tracy is more a Scott Lucas type. Oh, I don't think I agree with that. I think Lucas was more of like that real, like he was very, I'm trying to look for words. Like he was very hybrid.
Yeah. Long goals on the run.
Long goals on the run and very, very athletic and
Yeah.
would use his athleticism to like run away from players and
It's almost, yeah. I don't want to, I was going to think of more, but I think we should get back to the game.
we should. I would almost like Lucas, he's different again. Like, so don't like misconstrue this, but like he had some like buddy qualities almost. Like with his athleticism,
I know what you mean.
Not saying that
almost like an oversized flanker.
Yes.
Yeah, but a damn good one.
Whereas Tracy is just a fucking hard bastard.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
Oh, Fraser Gehrig's another good shout.
Fraser Gehrig, the scary like run through where you see the C's part and everyone just wants to get the fuck out of his way. I think that's a good shout. We've got some some roguey activity.
Yes, rogue activity indeed. Thank you, Rogie. Says Ed Allen has become a key cog in the midfield. Yes, back to the game. He has. He's been a really good shutdown player in particular.
Ed Allen?
Yeah. There has been some interest from Gold Coast and West Coast. I don't know if he'd be gettable.
He's a WA boy.
He's a WA boy. But I think Collingwood doesn't really lose players to the go-home factor too much, do they?
No.
And I think they're in the position he's in.
I think the only thing that would make that like for Ed Allen is if he thought his position was in jeopardy, like he didn't see a future for himself at Collingwood and thought he could get better opportunity, I think.
Yep. I actually, dare I say it, think it would be harder. There'd be less security at West Coast than at Collingwood.
Because of the position that he plays?
Yeah, and just that they've been hitting the draft so hard, West Coast.
Yeah.
That more players of his age profile that he's competing with. Whereas at Collingwood, at least in the next 2 years, you'd reliably predict that if he plays well, he'll get games.
I sort of agree with you a little bit there. Like, and it's not that Collingwood have worse players or something, but it's like he kind of get lost in with like, he just ends up becoming like Jack Hutchinson or that sort of group of players or Hamish Davis.
Yeah.
Where you're like, they're sort of
he's
okay.
better than Davis, definitely.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
But like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he just
I know what you mean. Yeah.
He ends up playing waffle and nobody can work out why he's good enough to bring into the team.
Yeah.
And he just stays there. Whereas
but he can carve out a niche at Collingwood.
He can carve out a niche at Collingwood, exactly.
And Gold Coast, the only way you'd go there is if Hardwick's like, no, we desperately need a player of your type, which may be true, but even still, it's a big call to move to the Gold Coast Suns.
Yeah. And it feels like unreal. Like it sort of feels non-believable that the Gold Coast would actually want a player like that, given all their talent. But maybe like we talked about
just
before,
want some role players. I guess
some role players. Yeah. It's a good shout actually. Where to from here for Collingwood? Does that reinvigorate their season, or is this just?
I don't know if the result in isolation reinvigorates it, because this was a game as they look towards the finals. Like, we can't drop this, right? For North, it was an opportunity to elevate a little bit, and from one perspective, I think it kind of was a tick for North Melbourne. I'll get your thoughts on that in a moment. But for Collingwood, what's rejuvenated their season as much as anything is Geelong falling into a heap, and now suddenly they're 7th.
Yeah.
And like I don't know if top 6 is on. I feel like there's now a gap in the top 6. Is this ladder updated?
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
so
it is.
are the Bulldogs still 7th?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they won.
I thought. Oh yeah, no. So Collingwood are in 8th. Either way, Collingwood will play finals. There's no doubt about that now, in my opinion.
Well, is that true?
Well, now that you've made me think about it, maybe not.
Well, so I'm looking at the ladder.
Who's overtaking them?
So Carlton's a cutoff for me.
Agreed.
Teams above Carlton can make the finals. So that includes Greater Western Sydney. St Kilda's form looks good enough to win through, doesn't it?
I've run a few ladder predictors to the end of the season. I have St Kilda actually in the 10 every time. So my takeaway there is their run home must be okay. So maybe I shouldn't have said guaranteed for Collingwood. I think they will play finals though.
Are Geelong actually vulnerable here?
I think they're vulnerable. But then again, we are coming off a 6 weeks 6-week patch where they've played good teams.
They've played
teams on a streak.
Yeah.
So that doesn't mean we extrapolate that. I love that word lately. As they're going to lose to some shit teams now.
I agree. And I remember we did their run home after our stream the other night, our watch along. And like we were kind of actually saying that their draw opens them up for the top 4 at that point.
Yeah.
And now we're saying now we're saying they could fit. So I think we might be going a bit too far there. But
Rogie says Jesse folded instantly under the slightest bit of pressure. I'm like, maybe not. I shouldn't have said. I went too hard with guaranteed.
Stand for something.
I went too hard with guaranteed, but I think they will.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've run a single ladder predictor where Collingwood missed the 10.
Yeah, no, fair. And like
I
think these last couple of games show how solid they are. Like against the North Melbourne, they just find a way to win. And it was last week. It was against the Suns, right? That was the Dacos like high tackle.
Yeah,
come on.
Which I was supposed to say, like their run of fixtures actually hasn't been that difficult.
Yeah,
like there was North and Richmond in that phase as well.
So we'll move on to the next game of football, which was.
Did you think it was a step forward for North Melbourne?
Oh, North Melbourne.
That's probably a stretch to say step forward, but you must have been okay with the way they played.
Yeah, I mean, there's always that little bit of doubt in your mind as a North Melbourne fan when you come into like this Friday night game. You're on the prime time. You're like, what if we completely fuck this up and we lose by 40 or 50 points? So tick for that. At the same time, like it does get a little bit tiresome. You just see how it's going. You're like, well, we're a couple of goals up with 5 minutes to go. You just know you're going to get overrun at the same time. And it's like frustratingly predictable while you're watching it. And it's like just little mistakes here and there by the same sort of players. I find that like tedious to go through every time. But like, yeah, I guess you're right. I guess there's some... I think this season will probably get looked at fairly positively. I hope the club doesn't... I think the big thing will be at the end of the season. Like, I hope the club doesn't think that this was like some sort of an overwhelming success and rest on their laurels, because we have done that before.
Yeah. So I'm a little distracted. I said I've never run a simulation where they don't make the 10.
You've always...
I went back to my video that I released in the middle of the week and they're like, they're 12. I've just had an absolute mare. All right.
Do not believe anything that comes out of this guy's mouth.
The wildcard race is wide open. Barry Hall is a star.
I reckon we're gonna get like one comment like an hour after this we finish this stream, and someone's gonna be like, "That is the wildest shout." Yeah. Like,
I have had a mare. We got 170 in the chat. Thanks for being here.
Woo!
The audience is peaking right as I'm crumbling.
It's a good time to be Jesse right now.
Yeah.
Rogie says, "MILF, man, I love Frampton." Bonk Choi says, "Don't think it was necessarily a step for North. They lost another close one again." How do you see it?
Well, I guess I look at North's like bracket of fixtures here, and I look at Collingwood, St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, and Melbourne, I think, after that.
Yeah.
So maybe remove Melbourne from that. We're facing teams that they probably want to try and dislodge from that top 10. So it's a big test.
See, I still think you've got to include Melbourne in that, because I think if we go back to the start of the season, were we expecting that North could compete with Melbourne? Absolutely.
Yes, but in hindsight now, Melbourne are clearly above that bracket.
I think we still, I agree. And I think like that means maybe like we don't have to beat them, but I still do think we actually have to. We can't get flogged by teams like Melbourne.
Sure.
They shouldn't be that far advanced on us.
Sure. But just focusing on Collingwood, St Kilda, Western Bulldogs, I looked at those 3 games where this is where North can prove their mettle, that they're as good as those teams. And I think against Collingwood, they lost. Maybe you can't gloss it up too much. But they were right there in that game. They were in winning positions, and it came down to the dying seconds. So I think they performed okay. It's probably about as far as we should go.
Okay, we'll move on to the next game. St Kilda defeated Port Adelaide 87-73. So a bit of a cagey one here for the Saints. I actually thought this one had banana skin written on it a bit for the Saints, but they did enough.
Yeah, well, Port Adelaide are a plucky opponent, aren't they?
They are.
And I don't know what their head-to-head is. I think St Kilda beat them there earlier this year in Adelaide, but I think things have changed. And it was up until half-time it was going well, but Port Adelaide kicked 6-2 in the third term and did give them a scare. But either way, they get the 4 points, and that's the most important thing at this time of year.
This is one of those games, like a Saints kind of pushing for the wild card while Port Adelaide are sort of still... Like, Port have been that plucky team that can push better teams, but at the same time, like they still sit in 15th and they're no chance to make the 10. Do you think this one is like for the wild card. Is this a tick for the wild card, this sort of a game? Because St Kilda is still in it and it otherwise would have been an absolute nothing burger?
Yes, but let's remove the two spots there. You'd say actually there's a 6-point gap between 8th and 10th. So yes, I will give that to you on this occasion. Because I was going to say yes, St Kilda in the top 8 race if there is one. If we only have an 8, are they still in the mix? Well, not convincingly. So there's 6 points.
Mathematically, but not
not
reality.
realistically. Yeah. So yes, having looked at it now, they are now competing. They're on the same amount of points as GWS, Carlton, North Melbourne. So yeah, very important win.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm with you on that one.
Port got up in the clearances in this one, 35-40. The inside 50s were 56-51 in favour of the Saints. So it was sort of a pretty even game, to be honest, overall. Saints just got them on turnover, beaten by 20 points there, and that's pretty much the game in the end. And I think St Kilda under Ross Lyon have built that. I think the stepping stone they've made this season is they've really enhanced that clearance profile. So that wasn't really a thing in this game that they were able to do, but I think their midfield has got more competitive around the ball and they don't have to generally rely as much on that turnover game. Probably some injuries and things like that mean they rely on it. And coming up against a team like Port Adelaide, I think that's a thing with them because they've still got Butters, they've still got Horne-Francis. The midfield is strong overall. Jordan Sweet's been a good ruckman this year, so they can get you at stoppage. And I actually think it was a bit of a gutsy win for St Kilda.
Okay. Yep. Sorry, I just wanted to double check a stat. I was going to refer to the fact that they're such a defensive half transition team, and that was true in this game. I wanted to see if Naz spent a lot of time in the middle, and he did, which is the first time in a while he's spent more than 65% time at centre bounces anyway.
Well, they scored 41-18 from defensive half.
Yes.
Really the only glove that Port laid on them is they beat them 18-7 centre bounce. Yeah. Which again, it's the Butters Horne-Francis factor for me. Those two highly talented players. Did you see the Horne-Francis bump?
Yes, I did. But from a wide angle shot.
Okay.
So I don't have a strong opinion on it. I did think it didn't look overly high, but it was from a wide angle shot and I don't remember what happened to the player.
I think it was a concussion, I thought.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was
there you go.
I think he's going to get weeks.
I thought it was confirmed 1 week. Let us know in the chat what was the outcome of the Horne-Francis one. I think he was out for a week.
I think so.
Let us know in the chat. I don't want to deliver fake news. I've been doing that all night.
Yeah, we like a little bit of fake news.
St Kilda are number 3 for scores per inside 50 now.
St Kilda are number 3 for scores per inside 50.
Yeah.
Where do they sit? I haven't had a look at that. Where do they sit for overall inside 50s?
I don't have that in front of me, but I can get that up. But to finish that off, they're top 6 for chain to score. So their ball movement is better. They're efficient when they're inside 50, and they're actually 9 for points 4, which is something that is starting to reverse a little bit of the narrative around them.
So the only issue I have with being a good team for precision when going inside forward 50 is if you play that defensive half transition game, you generally will be better because when you get in there, you've the field's been bigger, and you've had that more space to work into. Whereas when you play the forward half game, you'll get repeat entries, but they won't be as good at entries. You know what I mean?
So you asked how many inside 50s they get?
Yeah, where do they sit?
Are you looking for differential or total?
I'm looking for where they sit, ranked in the AFL.
For total or difference?
Differential.
Differential, they're ranked 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8th.
Yeah, okay, so they're basically mid-table team.
Yep.
Yeah. I reckon as their game progresses, they'll go to be more of a forward half team, and that would naturally come down a little bit. But it's still, it's absolutely still a good sign that they can move the ball and score. They need Max King back. Absolutely. There's a few people in the chat talking about Darcy Wilson too, saying that it's apparently looking like he is about to re-sign.
I did see that earlier in the chat, which is good news for St Kilda fans. There was a bit of noise that it was all just sort of maximising his contract. It wasn't really going to leave.
Sure.
So that's good.
Yeah. You'd have a pop at that. Philippou in good form as well. Boy, talking about that. And Alex Clement says, hey guys, Nass and Wilkie have to be all Australian this season. I'm a Saints fan.
Yeah, they are, I would say.
Yeah.
Nass and Wilkie. Yeah.
It's funny. I haven't actually thought about the key defenders in the All-Australian team this year. I feel like it's not going to be the usual suspects. And when I say the usual suspects, like, I don't think Sam Taylor's in that conversation.
No. Well, he's injured, right?
Yeah. Wiedering won't be.
I'm going to look at what the team that truefooty.com.au has put together.
Oh.
Admittedly, 4 votes, 8 votes. It's a small sample size, so I urge you to go check it out.
Can I guess the key defenders?
Yes. Let me give you a hint. There is only 2 in it.
Alex Pearce?
No.
Ruben Ginbey?
No.
I
like how you thought of it, though.
Harris Andrews?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. And Cal Wilkie?
Yes.
Okay.
Naz is on the right back flank.
Nice is on the right back flank. Okay. Well, there we go. Port didn't contest the 1 week ban, says James Workshop.
Thank you. Thank you for that clarity. Did we talk about Butters and how it's potentially his last game?
Yeah, well, I was just getting to a chat from Redback Spider saying, does the Butters injury decrease his value by 1 future number 1 pick?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, okay.
No, it doesn't.
Go on.
You'd be crazy to try and negotiate down for Zach Butters because he does an ankle in round 18.
I mean, it's worth a pop. But
an ACL, even then, I don't think so. Yeah. Especially if it goes as a free agency move, which it may not. But has he played his last game? Well, look, I know this suggestion that he could. I think he's going into surgery, and there's a chance he makes a speedy recovery. Who wants that? Do Port Adelaide desperately want him back for the final fortnight?
I wouldn't have thought
Maybe
so.
Butters, as a true competitor, wants the final game. I could see that.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's a good play.
Yeah, it's a weird one, isn't it? Like how this stuff comes about. Like where did it? Like who started talking about the fact that Butters? Why would Butters have a farewell game?
No, it's not a farewell game from that point of view. I reckon Butters, from reading from the outside, does love the Port Adelaide Footy Club.
Sure.
And wants to go out on his own terms, if that makes sense, which he is through free agency. But I mean, he wants to have that final game. I reckon that'd be a normal emotion that players would feel, right?
Yeah.
I reckon that's all it is.
At the same time, yeah, it feels a bit like, I'm not completely against the romance of that, but it's also a bit like, is that really worth it?
No, I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, so you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I don't think it's worth it. But you can understand why that would be some of the emotion that he'd be feeling post-injury.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one.
Bong Choi reckons Butters will stay. It's funny how no one is even really talking about that.
That's not even an option, is it, anymore? I think you sometimes with this stuff, I reckon, I know journalists don't always get things right, but generally there is smoke to their fire.
Yeah.
They aren't just creating the fact that Butters wants to leave, right?
Yeah.
They know things.
If he was going to resign, he'd do it in the next 4 weeks, I reckon.
Exactly. And even, things like what I remember Stephen King was interviewed about it and Melbourne's involvement in the deal, and he's like, it's kind of been decided.
Yeah. And
he didn't mean he's staying at Port Adelaide.
Mm.
I think the football, it's not exactly a secret. I think Port Adelaide know he's leaving.
The only occasion I can recall in my time was actually a case involving our 2 clubs where a player was so odds on to leave.
Gaff.
Yes. But it's not even as though the media changed at the last minute. You know how it's suddenly now he's set to stay, and then a week later hear about it. This was it was September, October. We'd already won the grand final, and it was announced on the Eagles website he re-signed out of nowhere.
Mm.
The point that I'm making is that you generally hear about it before it happens, except for that one exception.
Okay. You've always got a West Coast anecdote, don't you?
Yeah.
There's always something.
But it is the one example. It is the one example. Let us know in the chat if there's one that I've missed there.
I love it. We've got 161 in the chat. Thank you all so much for being with us.
That was also a North reference.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, we got the double in there.
Yeah.
I even benefited from that one. We've got the next game. We do have GWS defeating Geelong. This game kind of went under the radar. This was the Saturday afternoon game, I want to say.
Yeah.
And it felt like just a real sneaky sort of a nothing game, but quite a big ramification here on the overall ladder. If you'd have gone back a month and we were talking about Geelong, I reckon we did that watch Geelong with them losing to Brisbane. I still firmly had them in and around the top 4. That looks extremely unlikely now.
Yes, absolutely. I have 2 points.
one's about going to the bathroom?
No.
Oh.
Great idea, though. The first one that I forgot to say, I just want to quickly point out that Port Adelaide will be without Horne-Francis and Butters when they play Fremantle next week. That is disgusting. The second point, onto this game. I don't know if it was ever a nothing game. Like, GWS have beaten the Cats 4 times in a row prior to this. So this was a bogey side. GWS's form was ominous, and there was a form slump of Geelong, or at least a result slump.
Yeah.
That being said, I still tip Geelong.
There was, yeah, exactly. And for me, the reason that I thought it was a nothing game was because I just thought Geelong are that team when they have a couple of bad performances in a row, like that's the worst time to get them, bogey side or not.
Yeah.
And the Giants haven't actually, like, this season as kind of, have they been good? I don't know. Like, I actually don't know anything about the Giants. I don't know what I've learnt from them this season. Are they good? Like, they're randomly plucky against top end sides, and then as soon as they have you get any level of confidence in them, they'll drop a game straight away.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have much to add there other than to confirm the idea that they are I was going to say basket case. That's not right. It's a bit of a dog's breakfast trying to analyse where they sit in the competition, right?
Yeah.
But lately it's been more good than bad.
It has lately.
Yeah, since the loss to West Coast reference. Since then, they beat the Brisbane Lions very shortly after that. I don't remember if there was one in between. It might have been. They've beaten Geelong now. They beat Fremantle. Like, this is actually a bit of a sustained
form. And lost to
form.
St Kilda.
And they lost to Carlton.
Yeah.
Which was a curveball. So I suppose that is still a mixed bag, but still 3 huge scalps.
It's a fairly, actually, like, when you look at the form line, it's a fairly standard, predictable form line. If they play someone good, they win. If they play someone fairly shit, they lose.
I suppose, yeah. So it's actually very easy to analyse them.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think, like, maybe the bigger discussion with the Giants is, like, we've done their youth points ranking and stuff, and we have them. We think their talent is really, really good.
Yeah.
What do you put this season down to? Because they've, early Adam Kingsley, they were like straight up the top of the ladder, like pushing for prelim finals. I think they like really outperformed during that time. And then a couple of seasons in a row leading up to this one, it's probably been like you expected them to push for that top 4, and then they weren't quite as good as we thought they were. They were sort of a 5 to 8 level team. Where are they now? I'm a bit confused. There's obviously some sort of a transition period happening. They brought a lot of young players in. They're probably going away from that like Cornelio, Toby Green, Josh Kelly sort of leadership, and they're coming in more towards now like a Finn Callahan era. What's happening though? Like what is this? Is this normal?
It's a transition, completely normal, I think. It's throwing up some crazy results, but I think what we're seeing is a very deliberate push towards...
That doesn't sound normal.
It's all under control. It's just the outcome is insane.
Is it normal to kick 180 points against Brisbane?
Yeah.
And then lose to Carlton?
Yes. Well, this season it is. I think from a list point of view, it is easy to see the direction they're going. Jesse Hogan not offered a contract. At least that was true a month ago or so. Toby Green likely gone, which seemed unheard of 12 months ago, or unforeseeable rather. And with their injuries, it's allowed them the opportunity to turn over their or get experience into that next layer, which through doing the Youth Point series this year, I learned how good their young talent actually is as a congregate. Aggregate? Both of those work, maybe.
Harem.
Penchant. So from a list point of view, it's very easy to say what is happening, in my opinion. As for what they are this season, Dylan, I don't have a single word for it.
Yeah, I suppose that's the thing I'm trying to work out. I'm trying to work out why. I mean, I think the inconsistency, like injury, has to be spoken about a little bit, because I feel like they're one of those teams that is just perennially, like their best players are perennially unavailable, which does bring into the inconsistency. And then if you adding into that mix, you add a bunch of young players, inexperienced players, like that's going to happen. So I suppose that goes part of the way, but it's been a wild run.
Yeah, it has. They're a wild club, and I actually mean that respectfully, because they've been good more than they've been shit, to be fair.
Yeah,
and they've played deep in finals, but they are a wild roller coaster of a team. We got a couple of super chats I do want to acknowledge. The first one was from Wolfie, who says, enjoy the content. Which 4 teams do you have in the premiership window? Thanks. Thank you. So we did cover this at the start, but we can give a quick rundown.
I think, for me, it's 3.
Yes.
When you say premiership window, you mean for this season?
I think contention this year.
Contention this year. FREO, Brisbane, Hawthorn is mine.
Yeah. FREO, Brisbane, decent gap. Hawthorn, Sydney. I don't really think Sydney are a serious contender, but maybe that's just the way it feels right now because they have put in a body of work that makes them a contender. So I'm backflipping a little bit. And the question was 4, by the way. So I am throwing in a 4.
Did it have to be 4? Like, if it's 4, then the next one is Sydney.
I don't feel Sydney are a serious threat right now. Hawthorn, my caveat for them was the MCG factor.
So I'll throw this one at you. Like, what if? Like, I reckon the one fiery wild card in all of this, and I don't even necessarily believe what I'm saying, so don't take this with a grain of salt, but sexy Melbourne with their Cozzy Pickett, Max Gawn, Jacob Van Rooyen as a key position forward who actually does have a shaved head. So he's like the real Josh Tracy. Could that team, with its youth and expressiveness, could they be a part of this conversation? You're just going to say no, aren't you?
I think they still have a little bit more proving to do before they elevate into that conversation. They did just slaughter Hawthorn, so maybe that they're a part of that next group, but they're not part of the top 2.
Completely agree. Facts. So like we're in a very this conversation right now was like we're in a predictive mode, but like. Sometimes in seasons you just have that like random team that you didn't think was that good. They were sort of like winning games and you thought they were overperforming, but then they actually just were really good. Like I reckon we can go to Giants' first season under Kingsley. I reckon we can go to Collingwood's first season under McRae. Like it feels a bit like that, and they make a prelim. So I'm not saying that team actually goes through and wins the flag, but are they Melbourne potentially a sleeping Collingwood or a sleeping Giants of I think the year was 2022, maybe 21, something in there.
Or Collingwood made a prelim in 22?
22.
If that's what you're referring to?
Is that the same one that the Giants made it?
No, 23.
That was 23 when Collingwood beat them.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a year after each other. But I reckon at this time in both of those seasons, I reckon we would have been saying like, oh, are they just... Because those teams had gone from like 15th on the ladder, hadn't they? And then rose up with new coaches.
Not sure about the Giants where they finished in 22. You could be right. I didn't think it was that low.
Well,
Collingwood finished 17th.
Wasn't it under Cameron?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were atrocious.
I thought Cameron got sacked in 2020 though.
Well, they can't have waited that long because Kingsley was an ex-coach.
Let us know in the chat. Help us out with that.
I know they had caretaker
Maybe it was 22.
Spike McVee.
Maybe it was 22.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it was 100. It can't be 2020 because it was. I was living in Melbourne.
They had a bad year in 20, but you're right. They didn't sack him that year. I do want to address a comment that's just caught my attention from the Big Fella 7. It says, "Hey fellas, I tried signing up to the website, but it says my email address already exists. I won't read out everything you just said, but I've read what you've said. Are you able to get in touch with us on Instagram? Because the only way I can fix that, well, the first way to fix that is if I have your email address. You don't have to write it in the chat. If you're on Instagram, message at TrueFootyAFL. Yep. If you're not on Instagram, bear with me. I'll think of something. Or email us. Email. TrueFootyPodcast@gmail.com. That's actually probably better if you do that.
Yep.
Anyone else having that issue, any issues with the website, you can comment in the forum as well, but also you can email me. That one felt I wanted to address.
I wonder if it's better if we set up a WhatsApp for that, but I digress. We had another super chat, didn't we? From
Bonk Choi.
Bonk Choi.
Thank you so much. He says, just announced Chris Scott has confirmed Jeremy Cameron is playing ruck this week with an arm sling.
That's a joke?
I presume so.
Just checking.
Yes. Thank you, Bonk Choi. Appreciate you.
Just checking. Where are we at here? So...
was there... Okay, Big Fella's going to email me. Thank you. I will sort that for you as soon as I can.
So, breaking news. Breaking news has just appeared.
Hit me.
From 7 AFL, Mitch Cleary. Heard he's making moves. James Hird approached Simon Goodwin to be a part of his coaching team.
Fuck. Wow.
I reckon this is happening.
This is unforeseen. Unprecedented is the word I'm looking for. Who's heard of a coach assembling Ragtag team of misfits. Not that Simon Goodwin's
it's
a
like
misfit.
a movie, isn't it?
I just wanted to say that. Yeah.
That you can imagine that doom da doom da doom da doom kind of coming on, and like he's like, I've like a Tarantino movie.
I was thinking of that movie with Justin Long called Accepted, where they make a university and it's all just bullshit.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah, we'll see. It could go either way at this point. I'm kind of fascinated by that.
Yeah, me too. That's fun.
Lemon King just submitted their AA team on your website.
Ooh.
Thank you, Lemon King. Awesome. I love the rankings. As soon as like people vote more, like it produces cool data. Like this is what people think.
Exactly.
It's cool.
Exactly. Sometimes I remember when we first were going on there, and there's like one person had done it. It's like just one person's opinion.
Ruben Jinby, 99.
Yeah, exactly. And that one person was Jesse. Yeah. New Heaven says Finn Callahan is so good. I completely agree with this. I concur. How good is Finn Callahan?
He's outstanding. Eagles Unfiltered shout out says, you're thinking of the end of Iron Man. I'm assembling a team. Are you an Iron Man person? Is that possible?
Iron Man, like the Marvel?
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Okay. Then it's a coincidence.
Yeah.
The we have a super chat. I'll answer your question first. I'm getting overstimulated here.
That's okay.
Finn Callahan is a clear 5-point youth point rating kind of guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's a player you want to build a team around.
Jesse, what's a 5 point in youth point rating? That's crazy.
We've done this. Ethan Matthews, are they a dynamic duo potentially in the future?
For sure. I mean, two very athletic, tall midfielders.
Yeah.
That would be tasty. And they've got a lot of those like diminutive, speedy forwards as well. So
every now and then you just like you're doing an analysis of a player and you throw in a word. I don't know what it means.
Diminutive.
I know for what it means from actually no, I don't. I've heard it a million times. What does it mean?
It sort of means like small.
Okay.
And like I like to think that it means like small and kind of like robust.
So you don't know what it means.
No, I think I sort of do.
I think you're right, actually. I thought my mind goes to like unheralded, low profile.
Like when I say it, I mean like players with like low center of gravity.
A name that conveys a sense of smallness, youth, or affection. I'll pay that.
Exactly.
I'll pay that. He is young too.
Exactly. Did you read Lewis's chat?
No. Do you want to take that one?
I can take this one.
Thank you, Lewis.
Thank you so much, Lewis. Picture this. I like when something starts with that. Picture this. West Coast trade pick 3 and pick 21 for Blues first and both Swans 2027 and 2028 future firsts. Then West Coast trade a future first to Port for Georgiades. Then West Coast trade back to Swans their future first for Chad Warner. Yeah, I know.
It's hurting my brain. I have a couple of issues.
I was with it. I was so with it, and then I lost it.
I have a couple of issues off the bat.
You can't.
What did Carlton get out of that? Pick 3 and pick 21. The points don't really help because that pick 21's after Sydney's pick. It doesn't improve their matching.
West Coast trade pick 3 and pick 2 for Blues. Wait. So like, I guess Lewis is doing this from the point of view that like getting points for Walker.
Yeah, but does it help? Oh, they get pick 3. Sorry,
pick 3.
Pick 3. Yeah,
and pick. So you're out of the draft.
Yeah, we've never done that before.
If I had $1 for every time we traded pick 3,
but we get Sydney's future firsts. We then trade a future first. I don't know if West Coast need to trade for Chad Warner this year. Wait a year. So that's where it fundamentally breaks down for me.
Okay.
Georgiades as for a future first, like maybe we could try with Port.
I'm still working out when people are throwing futures at me at this point because of Tasmania. It's really difficult to understand what currency you're dealing with because it's not the same anymore. And until we get finalised which players Tasmania removed from the draft, we don't really know the value of the picks.
That's true. So yeah, maybe some conservatism with trading futures this year.
Yeah.
Redback Spider 72. Thank you for the super chat. Says South Harmon Institute of Technology. I love that. Good shout out. You obviously have seen the movie.
Well, I haven't seen
It's a reference to the movie Accepted, and it spells SHIT.
Have I seen that?
Probably not.
Oh, yeah, I got it. That's actually great. Good stuff. Bomber James says, are you forgetting that FREO lost last week, broski? Is that at you?
Probably. I need the exact context.
Probably because we're just saying that they're like so far in front.
Yeah, but I'm still saying that regardless of their loss to GWS.
Yeah, you can. You're allowed to lose.
Yeah.
We like losing. We go for West Coast and North Melbourne. we actually.
We're just about the draft.
Have I seen accepted? I'm going to wait. Let's just bear with me for a second. What's the next game?
Carlton v Hawthorn. The game that did not live up to the hype. This seemed to be an immovable object meets an unstoppable force. And
it's got Jonah Hill in it.
Yes, it does. And ask me about my wiener. That's a quote from the movie. Carlton v Hawthorn. This was an annihilation. And I tell you what, the weather was an annihilation. So I actually didn't catch a lot of this game, I'll admit, because I had a personal function to attend. That made it sound weirder than it is.
God.
But I tell you what.
You went to the pub for a birthday.
No, it was a house.
Okay, sorry.
It was a personal function. The weather was nuts in Melbourne on Saturday night. Did you go outside on Saturday night?
I didn't go outside. I actually watched the game. And I'd been inside for most of the day doing stuff. That sounded weird too. Doing work stuff.
It didn't. Now it does.
I put the game on. I didn't even know it was raining.
Didn't
I thought
you?
it was just like a normal, wet, wintry day. I put the game on. I'm like, I was like, oh, this game must be in Adelaide. And then I'm like, it's Carlton and Hawthorn. It's probably not in Adelaide.
Oh, I got in the Uber. It was raining, like a normal amount of heavy rain, right? But by the time we pulled out, it dropped us like as close to the door as it could get because it was raining and he was a very considerate man. In the 2 meters between the door and the front door of the house, I got soaked. It was raining horizontally.
Were you meeting new people here too?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
I looked sleek and windswept.
You're like, oh, sorry.
Yeah. I was like, it was literally 2 meters. My puffer jacket was dripping on their floor.
Oh, that's so embarrassing.
This is all football related. It captures how difficult it must have been to play footy on that night. And Hawthorn scored 100 points.
They did.
Seamless
I mean, Carlton
segue.
were absolutely awful. But I do want to go back to, I want to defend my Blues here a little bit.
Yep.
Did you catch some of the umpiring decisions early in this game?
Yeah, I caught the main one that's talked about. Was it Chera? Yeah, I did see that one. Yeah.
That was wild. And there were a number of these decisions with like 50-metre penalties, poor free kicks in the opening quarter of that game. Now, Hawthorn dominated them. So, but
yeah.
I do like
6 goals 3.
6 goals 3. I do think we were robbed of a potentially better game based on some of those umpiring decisions. Like Carlton would have been knocking on the door a little bit more and then been able to put a bit more pressure on. Obviously, Hawthorn were clearly the better team. And I think it stemmed a lot from a couple of they're silky players. You know how Hawthorn just have those guys that can just control the football and just have that wizardry, like Jack Ginnivan in this game, Will Day in this game, Dylan Moore, and Blake Hardwick was the other one.
Yeah.
Just the way that they handled the ball compared to the Carlton players was on another level.
The territory game, from what I can tell, as I said, I didn't catch all of this game, but when the weather's like that, territory is going to generally win you the game. 59% time in front half, which may not sound a lot, but it's well above average. And overwhelmed them at the contest, which is not a weakness of Carlton, or at least at the start of the season it wasn't. Plus 24 contested ball, plus 19 ground ball gets, plus 12 at clearance. So that's not the profile I'd expect from this game.
No, I think the problem for this was with Carlton, like they would, they could get their hands on the ball, but there was no exits. Like they actually couldn't get out.
Yeah, okay.
Which was the kind of the difference in the game where I feel like Hawthorn would just, like it was almost just an intelligence thing a lot of the time. Like Carlton would try to use their physicality around the ball, try to win the ball and get it out, and they just weren't going anywhere. Whereas sometimes Hawthorn would just sort of wait. And they would just like soccer the ball forward and it's out. Like we've got it going our way. And then they would just keep it going. And Ginnivan was incredible with that.
Yeah.
And then they're like the small forwards then just go to work at ground level. And it wasn't even close once they got going.
Hewitt got injured pretty early in the game, didn't he?
Yeah,
that's a little bit of a factor when we're talking about some of those numbers. Obviously, it doesn't explain the whole thing. How much of a dent in Carlton's momentum is this? Obviously, from the scoreline point of view, it is, but to what extent can they regroup? And while you're just saying that, I would check who they got next week.
I sort of think that it'll actually tell us a lot about their character.
Collingwood.
Massive
game.
Well, that is their season. That is their grand final against Collingwood. 100% is their grand final because I don't think they lost in a big way in this game, which is not ideal, but I think we expected them to lose, regardless.
Yeah, I mean, I did think there were a chance just based on the momentum, what happened with Hawthorn last week, but you'd say that it's forgivable to lose.
Yeah. I think it was likely that Hawthorn they would have been the favourites. I think clearly in this game. So I think it's okay, but it'll tell us a lot about them because they've been, I think when you are on that winning streak and you've got the new coach and everything's kind of like the mood around the group is really, really strong. It's sort of, it is easier to keep rolling on. And now that they have dropped that game and they haven't played particularly well, and the illusion of Josh Fraser, like that he's, at this point he hadn't lost a game and now he's lost a game. So it's kind of like, can we continue this? There could be a bring back Voss moment. I don't know. But like the Pies, it's actually perfect. It's perfect. It's all built up to this. If they win this game, they probably make the 10. If they lose this game, it's done. Easy. Simple.
Yeah, you're right. And the stage is set for a fantastic Collingwood-Carlton shithousery game where Collingwood win it in the death.
Predictions
just happening.
Early predictions of score, like 65-64.
Who wins?
Don't know.
It's tough, isn't it?
Like,
if it's that close, you just feel like Collingwood finish in front.
Yeah, it's going to be like, it'll just be a game of rugby.
Yeah. But tell you what, though, the lid will be off again if they beat Collingwood because it's a bit of a hoodoo team for them. Big rivalry. Season's alive. Blue Abroad fan cams. Count me in. Yeah. Count me in if they lose.
Yeah, I'm in. I'm involved. Yeah. What does Rogie think? Rogie says genuinely might be the worst 50-metre penalty ever. I mean, that is completely true.
It was just a howler from an umpire who, I don't know if it was pride. I think it was just a brain fart. It was almost like, have you ever done something stupid and then try to cover it up?
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah. but then you realise I couldn't have covered that up. Sort of like a cough fart that I just demonstrated there.
Yeah, yeah.
That's what I think it was more than like pride. I think it was more like, oh God, I have to keep going with this.
It's just funny because like that was it Matt Stevic?
I actually don't recall.
I think it was. Yeah. So like he's like a very like I suppose experienced umpire, a composed umpire. It's weird that in that moment like that would happen to him. I mean, I suppose it can happen to anyone. It's just like in other parts of your life, like for example, the cough fart situation. Like you can lose your composure in that moment because it could sort of happen at any time. But he's doing that one thing that he does really well.
And mine are intentional.
Yours are intentional, where like he doesn't have to do that. No, that's not what I meant to say. But
yeah, I didn't understand.
We're absolutely on a tangent here. This is not good content.
Either way, I just lost viewers.
I think we just did lose viewers. Mr. Harrison Carnaby says, typical Blues fan complaining about the umps. Hey, Dylan.
Precise Path dropped a great gross reference, by the way. Just want to shout that out.
I'm not a Carlton fan.
You predicted them top 6. You must be.
That is not fair. And then Birdman says, but Dylan, you hate being negative of the umps. I don't like. That was a bad decision. Isolation. I do get bored of talking about like, the free, like particularly when it's something like, the free kick count was lopsided.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Give me some specifics at least. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Official. Yeah.
I'm not a Blues fan.
Stick to boxing analogies, guys.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's really our one word.
And the game's gone. Well, yeah, the game is gone. Has gone. Present perfect. Had gone. Has. No. Let's move on.
Yeah. I just want to say to fellas, I forget the full username there, who said they were going to send me an email. I haven't received it yet, so just in case you've sent it and it's gone somewhere spammy, I'm not sure.
Resend it. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
If you haven't sent, okay, that's fine. If you haven't sent it, that's also okay. Sweet. All right. Oh, it's just me in the chat. It's usually Dylan who does this while I go to the bathroom. Bomber James says, Blues by 10. I hate Carlton, but I hate Collingwood more.
Who are you going for, Jesse?
Dylan's just asked me who I'm going for. He's got his pants around his ankles like a toddler, and he's holding up his T-shirt as he goes. It's really weird. There's a lot of eye contact. Who am I going for? Who am I going for? I think I'd be kind of happy either way. Who do I prefer? I probably lean Collingwood more than I do Carlton. But I think I would enjoy it either way, to be honest. Dunning-Kruger says, West Coast are getting close to getting an upset win, Jesse. As a Lions fan, I'm nervous about this weekend. Look, we'll talk about the West Coast Eagles soon. I think they are getting a little bit of respect. It's a low bar. We had no respect before. I don't know if a Brisbane Lions side with the form that they're in, with the talent that they have, and with stakes as they are, that we present a real threat. On the other hand, last 2 times we've played against you, we played well. So maybe we just don't get annihilated. I feel confident we won't get annihilated, which is a nice place to be in as a fan, but it'd be one of the upsets, if not the upset of the season, if West Coast beat Brisbane. Dylan pisses like Butters from South Park. Does True Footy have an HR person? No. Should we? Oh, because of our references. Why are you zooming in so much? You think I can't see that? Why? I'm out of focus. Yeah, no, should we just do the stream with these ultra close-ups? We could. No, they'll be able to see my greys soon. I desperately need a haircut. Mr. the Bob, the pixie cut.
Oh,
Yeah,
Christ.
I don't know why you did that. I am going to get it. Jesse just lost all my credit with that remark. Oh, no way I lean Pies. I don't know why I do.
What's that?
I said I lean Collingwood more than I do Carlton.
So I think I'm right in Carlton. I think I probably would. I think like they're both. I mean, they're both insufferable, aren't they? Let's be real. But like, I think I lean like on this run. I'm sort of on Carlton, so I think I will back them. But then immediately I think of Rogie, and Rogie's such a kind
Rogie's
soul,
a good fella,
and I want Rogie to be happy.
Yeah, but I also like Terry from Blue Abroad and Pommy. Like, you can't do it like that.
Yeah.
I think it would be funnier if Collingwood won in narrow fashion again.
Yeah, it would be big for like overall the content space. Yeah, but then again, Carlton's season will be over.
Yeah, true.
So that's kind of it for them then.
Yeah.
Whereas
true.
like if they win, they're sort of back in it, and I feel like that'll give them that little nugget to cling on to of like we're still in this season. So then we can just kick the can down the road and we can go through that, and then they'll lose eventually.
Yeah,
and we'll just go through it at a later date.
Speaking of nugget, Lance Harper says, I only watch this for poo-poo and pee-pee jokes. Please no HR. Somebody said, do we have an HR person? I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then 4 games to go.
Only 4.
I think.
So we're only halfway. How long's the stream been going for?
A while.
Where are we, producer? 136. We always think we're going to go a little bit shorter, and we just can't seem to manage it. No way, Elaine. Pause, action, zoom. Where are we? Precise Path says, we need Jesse full zoom, Mo from edge to edge of the frame. You know what? I'm actually surprised because those cameras are not, I'm probably going to go too deep here, but like those cameras are not full frame. And that I zoomed into 100 millimeters there and it still didn't get that close. I'd have to move the camera like right towards his face, and I can't be bothered doing that. Just an interesting one. Mr. Harrison Carnaby says, for me, Collingwood versus Carlton is 16th versus 17th favourites. At least they aren't Geelong, but that Bart isn't in the gutter. Yeah, okay. So Geelong is 18th. Interesting. Rogie sent 1 True Footy gift membership. What an absolute legend you are, Rogie. Birdman says, who you taking, Lawler or Dersma? It's a good question. It's a good question. I think Dersma was more in front of his draft, but I think the 2024 draft was better. I think I'm still Lawler. But geez, Dersma's been good. Far out. He looks incredible. They're both great. They're both awesome. It's a really tricky one. Spinkscape says, correction, Dylan. I'm a Tracy fan. He's an ex-Pioneer, despite him playing for Fremantle. Okay, so you were just calling Jesse out for being outrageous. That is fair. That is fair. I just thought you'd be coming at it from a West Coast fan's perspective and just kind of being like, I don't want him to be like this enigmatic like figure in the game. Because I know what that's like. I mean, I used to when I was younger and I was really like I hated Essendon a lot because I was a North fan. I used to feel that way about Matthew Lloyd, and I used to want to talk him down naturally. Lockie's just left a super chat. Thank you very much, Lockie.
Thank you, Lockie.
Lock7451. Are Crows top 4 comfortably if they beat Swans Friday? Interesting
I
call.
don't think you can say that because they're in a percentage battle with Brisbane. And Brisbane's percentage just nudged ahead of Adelaide's, which is actually a talking point for the remaining two of the remaining 4 games. But I don't think lock, but it's a huge win if they do win.
Why does it feel, I mean, probably recency bias, but like it feels like Adelaide and Melbourne are better than Sydney.
Yeah, probably is a bit of recency bias. We'll have to judge that properly in September, but I do agree they look a little bit better at the moment. Sydney's block of form hasn't been the most convincing. And Adelaide, I guess they also had a couple of down weeks. That being said, in hindsight, the game against West Coast, I sort of marked against them because I thought they could have played better. But now if you look at West Coast's body of work, they're actually tough to score against, strangely. So it really was just that howler in the showdown.
Yeah, true. That wasn't a great performance. I don't know. I feel like the only thing with Adelaide that I feel like they play like FREO, but they're not as good. So it's almost like they're starting from behind the 8 ball because there's a team that's just like clearly better at what they do. But yeah.
I just want to shout out, we have 182 members on truefooty.com.au. That's a mixture of free members and those who support the channel financially through memberships and also get extra perks. I just want to say a big thank you for those who've jumped on. It is a lot of fun. I'm having so much fun with all the tools.
Well said. Well said. There's been some chat about Willem Dersma and Sam Lawler. Thomas Addo says, I'm biased, but Dersma is the sort of guy I wouldn't trade for anyone. Fair.
No, I think he's in that top category of play you don't trade.
Yeah, absolutely. Lewis says, Dylan with another year under their belt, how many of their close losses do they win? Who are we talking about there? With another year under their belt. Is that...
I'm struggling to even find the comment. With another year, how many of the close did they win?
We're talking about North?
Maybe North?
How many of our close losses?
Because you've lost a few. You lost to GWS, Sydney, and Collingwood, and West Coast.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think with some of that stuff, we can get a little bit bogged down by this idea, and I think that seeps into the players as well in these like sporting environments where it gets like there's so much about
West Coast.
That was about West Coast, wasn't it? But it's same deal of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You get bogged down by this idea of like, there's a path that we have to take and like we have to have this like small improvements. So when those clubs get into those situations, they almost feel like they naturally can lose because they're told that they can lose.
Yeah.
I feel like they can't be like, you don't have to just take that, you know what I mean? Like you don't have to take what's given to you there. Like they can win the games. And I don't think there's a natural progression where you lose the games one year and then you come up and you get slightly better and you get slightly better and it's all linear.
Maybe the ground that they've made up, both clubs from where they were, is still pretty enormous. Like let's not forget how bad our two teams have been. Yeah. And also consider who those opponents are in those close losses. The opponents are getting better.
Sure.
Right, so North and Collingwood, Collingwood, keeping on North, Collingwood, GWS and Sydney, to different extents, are quite high caliber teams. Maybe that's a stretch. It's hard to group those three, but I'm saying like 12 months ago you weren't. So I think that is a linear improvement.
Yeah.
And same thing for my boys, like the Bulldogs. That was a game we probably should have won. That was not a regular thing last year at all.
Completely. I mean, I suppose you are like. The league is completely set up for that to happen too, though. Like you go to the draft, you get more talented players than everybody else. Like you get first pick.
You should improve.
You bring them in, so you just should improve.
You should improve. Yes, that's true. But I'm just saying that they have improved significantly from where they have.
Fair. I will agree.
Whether it happens in 12 months' time, though, obviously that's not locked in.
Yeah, you got to keep going.
It doesn't. We don't convert those to all wins next year.
We will go on to Saturday, the other Saturday night game. This was colliding with the Hawthorn-Carlton game. Adelaide defeated the Gold Coast Suns 128-49. Now, I'm going to ask you a question about this, Jesse, about the Gold Coast Suns. This was like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what sort of rock bottom moment this is for them. Inside 50s, 60 to 38 in favour of Adelaide. Contested possession 147 to 120 plus 27. Clearances 53 to 35. Disposals 384 to 337. And inexplicably, with that disposal count, 90 to 55 tackles in favour of Adelaide.
Yeah.
Plus 45 tackles when you had 50 odd more possessions. Crazy. Is this the worst season, or most disappointing season, I probably should say, of all time, from a club and the expectations that were put upon them? A young team developing to push up the ladder, a natural expectation from their final win last year that they would keep going, bringing in Jamari Ugle-Hagan and Christian Petrarca, top-level players. Is it that bad? Am I going too far?
I think there is a little bit of context here. I mean, you're not wrong that it may be the most hyped team to ever fall in a heap like this. There's teams that have fallen in a heap. Gold Coast circumstance was that, as you said, Petrarca comes in particular, and you think they're just going to continue and be that premiership team. I think the underlying context here is that they've thrown in the towel from a team selection point of view as much as anything. They are now the youngest team in the comp over the last fortnight. And that obviously age is just a number, Dylan. They went from like it being in the middle of the competition to suddenly the youngest in the competition. All 4 first-round picks are playing. Adensall, Jai Murray, Patterson and Hewland all getting games now, which is something that wasn't happening at the start of the year. And Hewland was played in different roles. There has been a clear push to just exposing the young talent. So I think these results getting worse is a bit of a byproduct to that. I think they just realised they're not going to do anything this year, and they've thrown around some magnets. I'm just having a look at their injury list. It's not massive. Jai Farah, Alex Davies, Lockie Golden, not even those are first 23 starts. No. Himmelberg, no. Ben Long, suspension. Yeah. Dan Rioli and Lockie Weller are probably the two best 23 players.
Lockie Weller only just. Rioli's the clear one.
Yeah.
But that's not.
Some players have fallen to the wayside. Charlie Ballard's an example of that.
Yeah.
But either way, I think the demographic there pushes to the fact that Gold Coast, I think they kind of know what they're doing. They don't want to lose like they are. But I think we're past the point of this being failing expectations. They're playing a different game right now. Rightly or wrongly.
Hardwick said in his press conference after that game, this year is effectively gone.
Yep.
And he's right. Like, so he's not, I suppose he's just communicating what is actually happening. But I don't know, like, I don't remember ever seeing in the AFL, firstly, just the disappointment of this season, like the collapse of this season, but also just actually, it feels like they're just having a year off. This is a complete, I suppose you're saying it's not a waste because they are getting games into those younger players, I suppose.
But they have the kids to give the games to. They're in a unique position there.
Yeah.
To be a contender who also has 4 first-round picks they can draw from.
Yeah. I suppose the shocking thing about that is it's like it felt like they were out of this this kind of moment.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's a great position to be in. Just that the downturn in form has some context. That's all. Can I just say, predicted this scoreline almost perfectly. I did my ladder. I do just the tips on truefooty.com.au now. St Kilda and Port Adelaide got off by 1 point. It was 87 to 73, and I put 74. In this game, I put 129 to 44. And so I got a comment saying, no way are Adelaide kicking 120 points.
This podcast is not an opportunity for you to brag.
It is. It absolutely is. And my footy tipping sucks, but I'm going to call this one out.
You just digress into this moment of going I actually am brilliant.
I'm sick. And you could have done it yourself on truefooty.com.au.
Dear.
We have Rogue Riot with a super chat. Thank you so much. There's Craig McRae on 360 said his famous players not picks quote that it was never actually his philosophy and that he was told by Justin Lepage to say it to publicly support a trade.
Oh.
Okay.
So his famous players not picks that it was never actually his philosophy and that he was told by Justin Lepage to say it publicly to support a trade.
He said that on 360. It's
very open. Very open. What to support a trade? Which trade? Was that the Houston trade?
Wouldn't it be a player that they're... Oh, yeah, it would have been, probably. I was going to say they didn't lose anyone, did they, over the last few years? We want players back, not picks. So it must have been Houston. I don't know. Rogie can let us know before we get
I
too
think
far
it was,
into that.
okay, like just from, and I'm like paraphrasing this, but I think the situation was that like people were starting to say like your list is getting too old. So like what's the strategy with the draft? And then he was like, and probably what they were doing was looking at trading one of their picks from last year, right? From the 2025 drafts. They weren't in the first round.
No, because they traded it with Houston and
That was with the Houston trade. Yeah.
I don't know. Rogie will come in shortly with some context
Players,
before
not
we spend too
picks.
much time on that.
Yeah, interesting.
Eagles Unfiltered does say Geelong 06 as a team that massively failed on expectation. To be
Yep.
fair, I think that team still finished 12th, which is the lowest Geelong has ever finished. But you're right. Like they went from
Ever.
They went from literally. They went from a prelim in 05
Yeah.
with the likes of Gary Ablett Jr., who we obviously hadn't broken out yet, but still.
So no doubt that is true. And I think you could probably draw parallels to Adelaide. Adelaide? I'm not going to, I always struggle with the years.
23, I reckon, the Ben Keys touch.
Yeah. So they were, and again,
And then
like
24 was bad.
didn't make a prelim, but like they were pushing for finals and everyone naturally expected that they were going to go to the next level and then they way dropped off. That's a big one. Like I've seen that happen before. I suppose the Gold Coast, just the amount of sheer talent that they have in the team, and then also getting Christian Petrarca, who has actually hit the ground running. Like it's not as if Christian Petrarca's been shit. Has he?
No, he's been one of the better players in the comp.
Yeah.
Like probably top 10.
That couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah. I think he's the 7th highest rated player this year.
It's almost just
And
remarkable.
I think Dunning-Kruger said Melbourne have also just gone like that.
Yeah, it's
It doesn't make any
actually
sense.
crazy. It's actually crazy.
It shows that how much individuals aren't a huge factor in our game, doesn't it?
I actually found a Stankor bank here for the
Okay.
Gold Coast Suns from Matthew Stone here. He says, can we honestly rule out that there aren't rumours at the end of the year about Christian Petrarca throwing the toys out of the cot and wanting a trade back to Victoria?
Oh,
Any chance? Nah.
I won't buy into that.
Okay.
That feels slanderous.
Okay. Just checking. Just checking. Just checking.
We have a super chat from Locke who says Hugo or Isaac back in for Laird on Friday night.
Hugo Hawker. Yeah, because Hugo Hawkerham was rested. A lot of controversy around the fact that he was sort of being dropped.
Yeah.
Or Isaac back in for Laird on Friday night. I mean, I'm all about the Hawker-Han train.
Yeah, 100%.
I think he's been
gotta
juicy.
Come back in. Yeah, he's got to come back in. Well, yeah, I guess the question is more is would Laird get dropped?
I thought
Considering
Laird.
they won by 80 points, I don't know if
Is
they'd
Laird
make a
not
shot
injured?
to it. He says back in for Laird.
Yeah, for Laird, because Laird's like out for.
Oh, sorry, I missed that. As I said, I was.
I
at a
think
party.
Laird's missing.
Did he get injured in this game?
I actually can't remember.
Well, he
it's-
wasn't on the injury list at the start of the week. Forgive me, I'm spacing.
Is he
on that.
suspended?
Usually they would include that on the injury list.
Hmm.
In
Okay.
any case, yeah, Hugo's got to come back in for sure. And how's that coming?
Yeah. Kingdom Lazar says Dimmer sounding so defeated about this season in his presser is not a good look if you're a Suns supporter or player.
Someone else said the honesty from Hardwick was refreshing. Where do you sit on that? Those two juxtaposed comments.
Yeah. I always find it hard with those types of things because I do like.
As a supporter, I kind of disliked when the coach would put up this front a little bit and when I wanted to hear some criticism.
So this is yeah, like you want them. People say that it's like what's the word for it? Geez, that cheesy word that people use with social media. How am I not remembering what this is? Like it's authentic. That's what the word that I'm looking for. Like it's authentic, but I don't like. It's also self-serving, and there's like a performative element to complaining and saying what you want as well, right? Like Dimmer Hardwick, like going on these rants that he does, where he's like complaining about someone in the crowd or he's complaining about the umpires. It's also self-serving. It's not purely just some authentic. I'm saying what's on my mind, right? I want to get what I want. Is kind of what's behind it. Whether you think that is like there's a like authenticism to that, I don't know. Like I don't know where you sit on that.
No, you're right. I mean, he's not one to hide away from like complaining about umpires, is he?
Yeah, or various, like whatever it is. It's one minute it's Marvel Stadium.
Oh,
we
yeah,
don't like coming here.
Yeah. I guess I think this feels a little bit different, just being honest about his team being shit.
Sure, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So he in this same press conference, I think he had the like, I don't know if you caught that, but he was like coming down, Adelaide Oval has this area where you walk through the crowd, and I think he told someone to go back to their cave or something.
Yeah, his mum's basement.
Mum's
he
basement.
said that in the press conference, didn't he? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what that person said. Maybe it was horrendous.
Maybe.
In which case, like, fair play. But
yeah. Sure.
But who knows? Maybe he should stay out of those situations too.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, I suppose what I'm trying to say is like, I don't know if I like, sometimes it feels better that we say like, oh, it'd be nice if everyone just says how they feel and open, but it's not necessarily that authentic. I could have said that better, but I...
Yeah. On the other hand, it feels like it could be a bit of a dig at his players.
From the footballing perspective. Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah. In which case, I suppose it's self-serving because it satisfies him.
Yeah, well,
I feel like most other coaches would just be a little bit more careful with the way they phrase things. Whereas his was implied just very much like we're not good enough with no chance.
Season's done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's rare for a coach to say the season's done because it's like, okay.
Yeah, that's true. True.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sun supporters will be interested in their thoughts on that.
Yeah,
sometimes it is refreshing.
Get you. So you're saying that like he's probably trying to elicit a response.
I'm actually not. I'm skeptical that he's hoping that will happen. I think it was more
just dirty.
Vindictive a little, potentially. I'm not saying it's a massive no, but there's a reason other coaches don't do it.
Do you think a coach like Damien Hardwick, because he's such a successful coach, like this can happen a bit in the second job run where he comes to this club and like they have a really good season last year. It's falling apart this year. And he's actually starting to essentially say to his players, like, you fucking little cunts, like you're ruining, like you're like, that's where sometimes it can go a little bit awry because he's got obviously a huge ego. His standing in the game is massive and they can ruin his legacy.
You could be right. I don't think we have enough data to speculate, but I think you could be onto something there.
I think there is enough data to suggest that second time coaches, it's harder for them.
Yeah.
And is it because of that friction between their ego and the new group of players who haven't achieved anything? Whereas like when you achieved it with Richmond, it was all together. Whereas there's a distance, there's a lack of connection between them.
You could be right. Yeah, I'm not going to rule it out, but whether Hardwick is doing that, I'm not sure.
No, I'm not saying he's doing it, but that's happening.
Yeah. Is
what I'm suggesting, I guess. Yeah, I don't think there's anything there where he's trying to orchestrate that.
Yeah.
But
on Adelaide, like there's not too much to say. Rankin, Walker, Dawson, Berry, they all kind of dominated, and they're in a little interesting percentage battle with Brisbane. So it was really important they got the points, like a scoring points point of view, putting up a huge score. That's going to really be interesting.
Yeah. So where do they sit actually at the moment?
They nudged slightly behind Brisbane because Brisbane won by 90.
Yeah.
And now they're a few percentage points.
And the Hawks are only 2 clear, right? Above that.
Yeah, 2 points, premiership points.
Two premiership points.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm going to just quickly look for my charger because it's lost amongst the bevy of cables we have down here.
Did I maybe think that was... I didn't move that, did I?
That's okay. You make chit-chat and I'll...
No, let's do this together. I think it'd be better this way.
I see it.
He's found it. He has found it. The official UFL says, if you ever wanted proof that Vic bias exists, look at how little my Sunnies have been chirped at for this crap. We suck and everyone ignores us because we're not a hop, skip and a jump from the MCG. Some truth to that. Yeah, if you, I guess, call it Vic bias. Like that basically like they should be getting more chat about how shit they are.
I've seen a lot of that lately, though.
It's funny because
I'm surprised to hear that.
Some people will interpret Vic bias. Like I think Western Australian fans interpret Vic bias as they basically say that we're shit. And they wouldn't say that if it was like a big Melbourne team. And then when it's like Gold Coast, there's no doubt that with the Gold Coast Suns, like they're just not as big of a like conversation. Like less people are going to click on stuff that relates to the Gold Coast Suns.
Yep. No, that's true. But I would say that the Gold Coast, from all the media I've consumed this morning, have been torched.
They're a story, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Because it's like, it's at that point now where it like feels like another failed project. Another failed run. So yeah, that's interesting.
We move on to a potential grand final preview, Dylan.
Oh, we do. The Western Bulldogs have defeated your Eagles 86-70. And I wrote down here like the annoying part watching this game for the West Coast Eagles was the fact that they lost it at stoppages. They lost this game at stoppages. So 39-33 clearances, 12-8 centre clearances.
Yeah, 47 points from stoppage compared to 17, which is pretty brutal.
Yep.
When you consider the personnel.
I was going to say, so this is where I was going with this. Rory Lobb in the ruck.
Yeah.
No Tim English.
That's true.
And they were running a Matthew Kennedy setup for some of this game, and you still lost clearances. Now,
that's fair. I see where you're going with that.
So that's where I was going with that.
Yeah.
That's disappointing because you guys probably should have been able to manufacture something. Of course, the Western Bulldogs midfield is incredible.
Yeah. You put Bontempelli, Ed Richards, Liberatoria against Harley Reid, admittedly, is very good. Jack Graham and Oliver Franco. Then who do you think is going to win the stoppage battle? Hit-outs only go so far.
It's a tough one. Speaking of Harley Reid, that moment, I think it actually came on the TV when you just first arrived here. And like Reid just shoved... I think it was Ed Richards, actually. Ed Richards came to tackle him, who's like a 26-year-old mature player. And Harley Reid's like going over the boundary line. He could just do nothing. But Richards kind of comes to make sure he goes over the boundary line. And Harley Reid just gives him just like an aggressive stiff arm. Just like knocks him straight over. 20-year-old against a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
Incredible.
Yeah, but Harley has been able to do from a physicality point of view from the day he debuted was
I thought you were going to say the day he was born.
Yeah. He is a black belt at the age of 4. It was good stuff. I'll take over.
I can sit in silence for as long as you want.
This game is frustrating. The Caps... Well, mate, I say caps off. It could continue, but there's been a run of Eagles' honourable losses where we've run teams to the final siren and ended up on the wrong end of the score line consistently. The positive here is that the Bulldogs are probably the toughest opponent we've gotten close to beating this year, I would say.
Yeah.
A genuinely decent, albeit probably middle tier team, right? And with superstars through the midfield, admittedly without Tim English as well. We'll factor that in, but we also didn't have Ruben Jinbi. So very positive. Another game we probably should have won. And I would say should have because in the last quarter we had 17 inside 50s to 11. It was our best quarter in all the numbers, and yet that's the quarter we lose on the scoreboard because I would say the difference between the two sides was individual brilliance. Aaron Norton, when he's up and going, he's so hard to stop. And even with Ruben Jinbi, I'm not sure if we have a great matchup for him. He's a great athlete. And Bontempelli is so good, he doesn't need any help. But there were so many moments, I think I was saying to you before we started, like, it was such bullshit moments where the ball ends up in Bontempelli's hands. Like, Rory Lobb has a snap out of a stoppage or something, and he tries to get on his left boot, and you're like, this is fine. Rory Lobb snapping on his left. The ball gets slapped out of his hands and goes straight to a free Bontempelli who kicks the goal instead.
Do you know what's funny about that, though? When your team is playing that, you go, oh, for fuck's sake, like Marcus like, how did that just go to Bontempelli, like, of all people? But when you're watching as a neutral and he's not playing your team, you go, oh, how good's Bont?
Oh, yeah, 100%. I feel like I love Bont, best player in the game. But those a couple of moments there where I'm like, that's just shit luck.
Yeah.
But what's
he
not
makes
luck,
his own luck.
Yeah, I was going to say what's not luck is him roosting it from 60 straight after Willem Dersman's amazing 65-metre goal.
Yeah, that was a nice little like toe for toe, wasn't it?
Yeah, there were some box office moments in this game. It was actually a really good game of footy. You look at the Sunday fixtures and you think, God, I might go out for a walk today instead of watching the footy.
Yeah, I know. It didn't look good on paper.
But it was a really good contest. Yeah. And the Eagles, I think part of the disappointment comes from finishing the first half in front because you have the 20 minutes to digest where you're like, if you're 1 point down, it doesn't feel as good. But if you're 1 point up or whatever we were, 2 points up, you're like,
it's the hope.
It could be on.
It's the hope that
kills
you.
At the start of the last quarter, Harley Reid kicks a sick goal. I think it was the last quarter to go in front. And you're like, anything other than a victory right now, and I will be devastated.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not devastated, but we let it slip.
At least you don't have to lose by 10 goals or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a huge improvement. We lost this game by 94 points last year.
Yeah, they're a team that can genuinely get a hold of you. I think the thing that was like, I mentioned the stoppage game and the disappointment that you did lose from stoppage on the scoreboard and those statistics when you had that ruck advantage. that's disappointing. But you did win this game from a post-clearance point of view. So I actually brought up, Jesse, the equity.
Oh, Dylan.
I equitied you.
Now you're talking my language.
What's the thing in? I drew to you. I reverse.
It's like you're drawing from me, but in reverse.
I reverse draw forward you.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, you nailed that.
It's not coming out well. Equity points. Pre-clearance, 46.9 to the Dogs, 27.8. So you got thumped pre-clearance.
Okay.
Which is annoying because you weren't up against Team English. Post-clearance, 102 to 99.7. So you got over the line there. Your stoppage scoring.
That's where the real premiership points are.
Exactly. It's all about the equity points. So from turnover, you won the game 46 to 39. 6 goals 10 you kicked to 6 goals 3. So a lot more scoring shots than the Dogs.
Wow.
They got you 47 to 17 from stoppage though. So that was the game.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say a lot of this game came down to moments though. Like it was a very even game. The Bulldogs kicked 4 straight in the last quarter to 1-5. And I can think of several moments throughout the game where the Eagles had momentum. Jack Graham, Tim Kelly ×2. I think it was a Liam Duggan moment. He took one of the absolute marks of the round, like mark of the year contender. I don't know, Shea Bolton took a good one, I think. But it was an insane mark, and then he just kicked it to space in the 50. And so those moments are ultimately was the difference between the two sides.
Yeah.
We also had several shots on goal that we sprayed that were gettable. So we'll learn from it. But it's a bit of an annoying run.
I was watching this game and like there's a moment I was just kind of following Elliot Yeo a little bit because we've talked about his form a bit in the last couple of weeks. So I wanted to watch him. He does look like he's struggling a bit.
Physically, I think he's off.
Yeah. There's something going on with his mobility. Like
Absolutely.
Everything's happening really slowly and it's like affecting his mind.
I think put him on ice for the time being.
Give him a rest.
Yeah, I kind of hope it's an injury and not just what he is now.
Yeah.
But he had the most centre bounce attendances of an Eagle and had 12
Do you
possessions.
see it though, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, totally. I thought it was more noticeable last week. The only time I really remember Yo getting the ball was he was surging from half back and he sprayed it inside 50 for a turnover. And I love Yo and I hope this isn't the end. But for the time being, I don't see any reason for him to be in the team.
Yeah,
Stat Chat Sports, shout out, great channel. Best game of footy the Eagles have played this year, in my opinion. Promising signs from the boys. Well said. You could make that argument.
That's that conversation. Like we always have it about Richmond, who we'll talk about in a second. But like just to see Will, like just those little moments. Like Harley Reid is just a genuine like top level player now. But like the Willem Dersma, that little like explosion that he did like out the side of the stoppage, like that kind of thing. Like that's what gets you going.
Laid 7 tackles as well. 7 tackles and his offensive game outstanding.
Shout out to what's the Nick Wren? Now I've forgotten the nickname.
Jumper Punch?
No, his nickname.
Slim Reaper?
Slim Reaper from Nick Wren. I like that.
Yeah.
Slim Reaper.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Did you see the Bo Allen interview? This is like
I think I did.
Nothing to do with the game. Like Bo Allen was asked about
I saw snippets, but continue.
The pick 3 situation, and I suppose like the chatter around West Coast missing out on Jagger Smith. He went with a real cold response. I really liked it. He was like, "There's a lot to play out.
Yeah, right.
I trust the club.
Yeah,
and there's still a lot to play out there." I thought that was cool.
Yeah. He's a very competitive guy. So Bo, I'd almost put him in the same bracket as Shanahan. Shanahan's probably had the better year on balance, but the same bracket of 5 minutes a quarter, you're like, oh my God, this guy has no ceiling. And then he doesn't do a lot for the rest of the game. And you're like,
that's the ceiling.
I can't put him in my 5 votes. No, he's like a second year winger who's played like 15 games.
True.
And Shanahan's a key position player. But some of the things Bo does, I think he had 2 contested marks in this game. But he's also just as likely to spray a simple set shot. So the ingredients are there. I'm very excited about Bo Allen.
Yeah.
I'm a convert. I was probably a slow burn on him.
He's got AFL traits for sure. Like he's got some stuff going on. That's really good.
You just said nothing. That was just a desperate segue to the next topic.
So true. So true.
He's got some stuff going on. It's really good.
I'm actually glad you didn't let me get away with that. That was utter dross. Utter dross.
It was good.
Yeah, that was nice. I think I just hit a bit of a wall. How long have you been on the street?
We have been going a while. I don't think there's too much to say about the Bulldogs here. Not got out of jail, but like got through unscathed. Against the team that made it really difficult for them. They need to improve if they're going to be a serious team in September. At this point, it doesn't feel like it, with all due respect.
The Doggies.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's weird because they're what, 6th or 7th?
Yeah, I think. Well,
They'd be 7th. They'd be 7th after Melbourne and Adelaide. Like that feels quite high.
Yeah.
For the form that I feel like they've been. I think I saw a stat that they might have won like 5 of their last 7.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, they've beaten some good teams. Well, Hawthorn they beat.
Yeah,
but there just hasn't been the same ruthlessness that we've associated with the Bulldogs for a while. That being said, they got the 4 points, so we'll see. But they have to go up a gear, absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. We will go to the next game, which is Melbourne defeating the Tigers, and this Melbourne Demons team just keep on proving me wrong. I mean, at this point, I'm just kind of behind them, and I just want to see them do well now.
Yeah.
They're a lot of fun. 111 to 65. I mean, I say they're proving me wrong. Like they beat Richmond here, so but just in general. I mean, Hawthorn, they beat Hawthorn last week. They just kind of keep rolling on, and even like there was a little bit of a part of me. I'm like, they're that team Melbourne that could drop a game like this, a big game in Melbourne. Like it could
not to Richmond, no.
Not to Richmond, yeah. It could get a little bit nasty. So it probably says a little bit more about Richmond than anything else.
No, but they were ruthless. JVR, 6 goals. He's put together a really solid season. 35 goals puts him 10 goals behind second in the Coleman.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a lot, actually. But that's a really good season for JVR.
Considering, I think there would have been a lot of people coming into this year that said that he was just about not cooked, but
just
like
crossroads, I'd say.
It was at a crossroads. Yeah, that's a better way to put it. I think like people were writing off Jefferson, where Van Rooyen, they're like, there's a player, but is he actually like the number 1 key forward? I think that was a genuine conversation around him.
You'd even have to be happy with Jefferson right now.
You would.
Like those 2 recruits are starting to shine now.
Particularly like Jefferson sort of had to come in. Like you would have expected that Mychek would have been carrying this forward line still. Like he's gone out with that really bad injury, and like Jefferson stepped in. He's doing really, really well too.
Yeah.
From a Richmond perspective in this game, they actually won the scores from stoppages in this game, Richmond.
That's quite fascinating.
It is. And they got on top from clearance. So they won that 34 to 25 scoring. So a pretty small margin.
Sure.
It was the turnover game though. So the Ds were able to just waltz the ball up the field. And I think that's the most worrying thing for Richmond at the moment. Their defensive transition is just not there. 68 to 31 from turnover scores and 70 to 27 from the back half. So that's almost showing you that almost every time Richmond go forward, it ends up ending in a Melbourne score.
Yeah, absolutely. We did just do a Richmond video that will be out this week, and the clearance game is actually really good. The 10th in the comp for that stat. So everything else though, Melbourne far too good. Joel Fitzgerald dropped a lazy 31.
Fitty.
Well. Yeah.
The fit dog.
Fid Shady. Anyway, there's a joke that I'm not going to make. But a good mid-season pickup, absolutely. They took 3 picks, didn't they? Mapley and someone else who's escaping
Mapley hasn't played. It was Fitzgerald and...
I'm forgetting the third one.
Yeah.
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue, actually. Doesn't matter. Somebody will let us know in a moment.
No, Kentfield's from a different year.
Kentfield, no.
On that JVR situation, that's 11 goals in the last 2 weeks. I've got an exercise for you, Jesse.
Okay. Is it press ups?
Yeah. Some maths exercises, actually.
Okay.
No, not really.
Oh, damn it.
Okay, so if we project the best key position forwards in the next 2 to 3 years, let's say 3 years, so the year is 2029, and we're talking about the Coleman medal race, we're talking about all Australian key forwards. Give me the players, and where does Van Rooyen sit in it?
Oh, that's so tough without notice. I need time to prep for that, bro. I'd say Thilthorpe and Josh Tracy, probably 1 and 2.
Yep. I'll give you some names.
Yeah, please do.
Would you have Logan Morris in there?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Would you have Nate Caddy in there?
On potential, yes.
Would you have Mitch Georgiades in there?
He'll be at West Coast then. So yes.
Would you have Mitch? Yeah, okay. That's just a group of names. Where's Van Rooyen?
That's a tough one.
So I'd say he's not better than Tracy.
I think no. Tracy Thilthorpe, Caddy and Morris also have him on potential. I think Georgiades is the one he could eclipse.
The thing that Caddy and Morris have more to their more at ground level.
Yeah.
But more ground level potential, and they can kick these kind of like mercurial goals, I suppose. Whereas I think Van Rooyen's a bit more of a like a Tracy.
Yeah, he's more of a power forward.
No, more of a power forward. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. He's a gun. He's a gun. I mean, to be fifth in that lot doesn't mean you're a bad player by any stretch.
No.
But I'd probably rank it like that. I'd imagine most clubs would take a Van Rooyen over Georgiades.
Van Rooyen.
Forecasting the future.
Yeah.
Like, West Coast are probably a good example when you're like a young list, 2 WA players. Which one would you take? I think Van Rooyen makes more sense. Who's actually going to be the better player remains to be seen.
I'm
Tough
sorry,
one.
the producer's just crawling all over the floor.
Oh, that's okay.
Just trying to work out what's going on there. It's a good question.
We have a couple of super chats.
We have a couple of super chats. I'm just going to do one more thing.
Yep, go for it.
And ask you about like this season for Richmond. We do have a Richmond video coming out this week.
We do.
So stay tuned for that one. I had a bit of a stank or bank into this one. So this is from Marcus Long, who wrote, "Let's hope those rumours of Hinkley having an off-the-record chat to some key Richmond staff is true. I think our leaders are incapable of seeing the damage being done at the moment, but we will see. #Go Tigers." What do you reckon of that?
That's massive. Well, I'll just tie it into the super chat here because it's actually relevant. Shoe Snatch and Willie, thank you so much. Says, in theory, how many more 1 to 3 win seasons can Uze have before the heat starts to come for him, a la Brad Scott? Obviously, he's fine right now. I feel like we just can't get a read on Uze. I don't think he's... The 1 year he's actually probably had a healthy list, they had a great season. By the standard that we set for them, which was, well, there was talk they were never going to win a game that year, and they won 5. And it's not... Obviously, the expectation was wrong, but the way they played was really compelling. And they showed... And have shown, the players that are available, the young talent, have shown an ability to develop them. Or you could say that's really good recruitment, but the young players that they have, the ones with talent, not the low-profile ones, they have looked as good as advertised.
It's really difficult with these coaches, isn't it, when you're dealing with a team that's quite uncompetitive. So there are those rare coaches that in this situation, they really like play above themselves and they get more out of the team than that is probably there. Uze's not doing... So we know Uze's not doing that right now.
But it's very hard to do that with half a list.
Yeah, it is very hard to do that.
Which he's done 2 out of 3 years.
The problem and what makes them so unmeasurable, or immeasurable, I should say, is the fact that they've had so many of these guys injured. So like it's even really hard to gauge the development. Like you credited the development.
Specifically like with Taj Hot when he's played, Sam Cumming when he's played, Sam Grill and Sam Lawler. Again, like some of those, that's just talent. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
But there hasn't been an example of a guy like struggling to adapt.
Only from a perspective, the struggling to adapt thing is coming from injury.
Yes.
So they've made that change now with the high performance.
Yeah.
But it's, like I think we need I think the reality is for Uze, he's going to go into 2027. If there's not much of a sign of any improvement, like if they had this year again next year, I'd say that's probably curtains.
Yeah, even with injuries,
he can't afford that next year.
Yeah, I think you're right. I do agree. Like on the one hand, I did say we can't really analyze him, but at the same time that can't just run forever.
No,
you know what I mean.
like you can't just continue to have injuries. Like at some point, you have to have a circuit breaker there.
Yeah, it's probably more about the circuit breaker at that point than anything else.
Yeah,
than it is punishment. The Hinkley's an interesting one. I mean, again, second coach. Who knows how it'll go the second time around? But if his career at Port Adelaide is anything to go by, he took a basket case club and made them competitive for a sustained period. So that's not a bad one. When we know virtually nothing about Adam Uze, Ken Hinkley being available would be interesting.
It would. I think even if you were running that as an option for you put that in place for a 2-year period. You went, we're going to have Hinkley for 2 years and then we'll look for the...
Could they instate him as some sort of director of coaching? I don't see how that's a bad move.
Yeah. I agree. I think what tends to happen with those sorts of appointments is the current regime doesn't want that, right? Because you're sort of outsourcing the job to someone else. It's like when ex-players get involved in a player as a kicking coach or something, and then everyone goes hang on, I don't want this because it's kind of it's cutting into my job.
Yeah, it's true. Ruffles and feathers. I think in most cases you see it happen. It's probably when the head coach changes too. Yeah. I think we brought Woosher. Woosher's role isn't necessarily that at West Coast, but it came at the same time as McQualter.
Yeah.
Paul Roos, Simon Goodwin. Wait, that's not how that happened. That was an apprenticeship. What's another example? There's been directors of coaching brought in.
Yeah.
Think of other examples. The
Yeah,
chat
for sure.
can maybe help us find out. But Birdman also did say 14%. Thank you for the super chat. 14% win rate. Blues, Bombers, Pies. Uze gets sacked. Blues, Bombers, Pies.
So that's from this year.
Richmond didn't beat the Collingwood though. They beat Essendon and West Coast.
You talking about the Birdman one?
Yeah.
14% win rate. So he's saying Blues, Bombers, Pies. Yeah, I don't get the Pies thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand that, sorry. But 14% win rate is the main point, I guess. Yeah, I still think he's inherited a club that declared it was going full tilted rebuild and then also got injuries. It's hard to judge it off the wins.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. I think we need, like, it's a cop-out, but we need one more season.
Mm-hmm.
But Richmond fans are getting more and more pissed off. We will move on to the next game. We've got to talk about Brisbane defeating the Bombers 149-259, a 90-point win. What is with Essendon? I'm going way off track here very early in this section, but like, what is with Essendon managing to like make these scores look like half respectable? Not that this is respectable.
I was going to say, that's an interesting take.
But they kicked like 6 goals in the last quarter.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
I might be over-egging that.
Let's have a look at that.
Let me double check.
What was the 3/4 time score?
I should have researched this better.
No, you might be right. I just missed that. Either way, 90 points is not flattering. There's a few talking points from this game, but honestly, like...
They kicked 7 goals in the last quarter.
What the hell? I actually missed that entirely. So the score was 110-15 at 3/4 time.
Yeah.
7 goals in the last quarter.
They did the same thing against Western Bulldogs where they were down by like 60 at half time and then the margin was 55. Like they've done that 3-4 times this year.
7 goals is actually enormous. Even for like
enormous.
Even for like a sting in the tail or like a death rattle.
But it's like it's so nothing.
Of course.
Like it's like I know. Again, like talk about these rebuilding sides. It's like small wins. Like, can you win a quarter here or there? That's just trash.
Yeah, and the Brisbane Lions, for where they're at as well, probably had made up the percentage already to get into the top 4 because that was a bit of a live thing. I was looking at that throughout the game and saving themselves for a huge Optus Stadium trip next week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like huge game,
yeah.
huge game.
Yeah.
I don't like from an Essendon perspective. Like they've got to gut the joint, don't they?
Yeah. Speaking of related tangent, Zach Merritt.
Yeah.
I had a look. I was in and out of the game, and at one point, deep into right before halftime, he had 3 possessions. He finished with 11, and he had 21% CBA, so just outright not playing midfield. And a lot of conversation about him looking disengaged. I'm intrigued to see what was the chicken and what was the egg here. Has Essendon or Solomon discarded him because they know he's not going to be part of the future? Did that happen first with Merritt?
It's funny though because I think that already happened a little bit under Brad Scott.
Yeah,
like as far as changing his position and stuff like
true.
that. It's
Yeah.
like, you know, with Solomon, like at what point would it not be like he could just, if he really didn't want him involved, like he could just drop him, like he could just do that. So like I don't know how much he can discard him. Like at this point with this Essendon team, it's surely just a question of merit and his own personal desire. Like I just think he's been rattled with this whole thing in the off season. Like it would be a lot to deal with, to be fair. Like a lot of it's his own doing, but he's had a lot to go through in the off season, the speculation, then coming back into the season, sort of like re-engaging with the group, and then they have this kind of a season. Like it's a nightmare.
Absolutely. I guess what I was alluding to there was tanking his value a little bit. I know he's contracted in Essendon, can still ask for that, but
Himself.
Essendon tanking his value.
Why would they want to tank his value?
No, then that's my question. Why are they doing that?
Oh,
because if they're moving him into a new role and making him look worse, and then he's checking out, the net outcome is that it's harder to ask Hawthorn to pay a big king's ransom for him.
So they're tanking it so they can get rid of him to make it palatable for Hawthorn.
I don't understand that.
Sorry, they're tanking it. Essendon are tanking his value. You're saying Essendon are tanking his value deliberately?
No. I'm questioning why they're making a move that is tanking his value.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I wasn't suggesting they're doing. I don't know. I'm struggling to see it. Now, the other side of it is the centre bounce attendances then go to Sully Roby, who had the most he has had in 3 weeks, which is good. And don't get me wrong, that is good. But there is a downside of casting Zach Merritt to the wilderness and then asking Hawthorn for a really good price at the end of the year.
What is that?
It becomes harder. They want Hawthorn to take him.
Yeah.
So, and they want to get a first round and maybe a second rounder, according to John Ralph, for Zach Merritt. But if he's collecting 9 to 10 possessions a week on a halfback flank, doesn't it make it a little bit harder to put that stance up at the trade table?
Yeah, it does. It's funny, isn't it? Like, because Andrew Welsh comes out after the trade period and does this like Donald Trump-esque speech where he's like, "We're not going to get pushed around anymore, like by the clubs." And they're kind of now just like tanking Merritt's value for like a worse deal. So what's this?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. It's a weird one.
I'm all for giving the opportunity, but I don't think this is working in Essendon's favour. Blake Roberts says his position was changed under Solly to half-back in particular, but he was still getting 25 to 30 plus 20 pressure acts a week. This week and last week was his first massive drop-off.
Yeah. Yeah, I think statistically, like he hasn't been nowhere this year for Essendon. Like statistically, he's kind of always there. But
it's more of a recent thing for sure.
Yeah, but even when the stats were there, I think there's a clear drop off in his game.
Yeah,
with like the impact that he was having.
Yeah.
There's actually just a bit of news through here, like on a random one. So Chris Scott, this is according to the agenda setters right now. Chris Scott texted Zach Merritt on a future at Geelong. Geelong has made an unexpected play for Zach Merritt via their coach, Chris Scott. Chris Scott texted Zach Merritt directly to say that he is one of Geelong's targets at the end of the season.
Oh, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
Does that mean Zach? Is it a contingency to Zach Butters? Do they feel they're not a chance? At
Maybe.
Zach Butters? Like realistic. I suppose any club would do its due diligence and have contingencies, right?
Does this Essendon...
Except Hawthorn last year with Zach Merritt.
Does the... Like, okay, here's a little theory.
We love these deep stream theories.
Okay, this is probably... Like, I'm actually saying it out in my head. It's happening. I'm like, this probably isn't true. But, okay, who's Essendon's biggest rival?
Hawthorn.
Yeah. Don't want to get pushed around by Hawthorn. Tank Zach Merritt's value coming into the end of the season to open the door for other clubs to swoop in. So Hawthorn, you lose, but Hawthorn don't win.
Does tanking his value make it less likely for him to get to Hawthorn?
Okay, if Geelong, for example, if like the value goes down, it does open the door for other clubs, right? Because they can potentially... for example, there's a finite amount of clubs that Zach Merritt would go to. They have to be contending.
Yep.
Is kind of the thing. I think preferably they're in Melbourne, right? So Hawthorn's a big one. Geelong's probably almost the next big one.
Yep.
Melbourne maybe.
Yeah.
They would be the clubs. If they don't have capital to pay for him, then so Geelong.
You think they would tank his value though to their...
I'm talking shit.
I was going to say...
I'm talking absolute shit.
Ultimately, it's still to their detriment.
This is insane.
Yeah, I don't know. Geelong is an interesting one. That'll be fascinating to watch.
I'm very
We've
very
just filmed a
interested.
trade rumour video. We didn't include that. That's annoying.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when the agenda setters is on late on a Monday.
That's true.
The Mitch Clearys of the world, they're on
true.
this stuff. I do have a bit of a stank or bank here.
Cool.
This is from CJB88. What makes this a tough pill to swallow as an Essendon supporter? We have no consensus generational number one pick like West Coast had with Dersma and Harley Reid, like Carlton had with Wiedering and Walsh, like Jason Horne-Francis. Instead, we'll no doubt pick the wrong kid who will be a nice player. So let's maybe forget the last part because who knows who they'll pick. But I just wanted to say that I think there's some truth to that in this year's draft, given I just think it's very, very close with the top group of players. So like I think West Coast have been particularly lucky with this. I'm stealing your stank or bank. I've answered it myself.
No, it's good. It's probably good that you have some say in those because I feel like it's just a me thing now.
It's like I reckon West Coast, their 2 number one picks in Harley Reid and Dersma, I reckon they got 2 drafts where it was so clear cut who the number one pick was going to be. So it was so easy for them.
Yeah.
and the gap was big. Whereas like you can get this kind of a draft where everyone is actually genuinely going like, I don't know. I think Richmond had that in 2024 a bit too.
True.
With like Lawler,
that worked out
Sullivan.
well.
Worked out well for them, but you don't get the gap.
Yeah. No, that's true. I guess my rebuttal to that pessimistic outlook from a fan, I presume.
Sure.
I don't know if it was.
Caco's in the picture.
Who is Brisbane's once in a lifetime generational player?
Yeah, you don't need them.
That's my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not actually. It's fair to say that it's easy to be pessimistic when you don't have those players and that they've got the shiny thing. But I actually don't think it is a predictor for like guaranteed success. I suppose Collingwood had Dacos in 23. Geelong, a little bit different to compare to Geelong.
Geelong's a different build.
They are a different build. Richmond had Dusty.
Yep.
Eagles in 2018, I wouldn't say had any.
The Dusty wasn't a pick one either. So you don't need to get it from pick one.
No, but I guess we're talking about transcendent individuals.
Okay.
Rather than the pick one thing, right?
Gotcha.
West Coast in 18 didn't. Hawthorn, that's a little tougher one because they just had a bevy of top end talents, didn't they?
They did. And Franklin.
So it's possible to do it. Maybe that's the conclusion. It's possible to do it without having that individual transcendent player.
I agree with that. I like that. It's good talk from you.
Thank you.
From a Brisbane perspective, they get Zorko and McCluggage back in this game and they got through unscathed.
That's good. Good timing for
90-point win, Zorko and McCluggage back. Like absolute dreamland for the Brisbane Lions. I don't think there's too much, like there's not really anything to say about this game from the Brisbane Lions perspective, only that they are well back in the premiership race.
Yeah, 100%. Took the last quarter off and still won by 90.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible.
Yeah.
That is the games, Jesse.
It is. This has been a large stream. We also started a little bit later tonight. So thank you to everyone who took part. Thank you to our producer. Thank you to you, Dylan. And thank you to anyone who became a member on truefooty.com.au. We have a variety. You can be a free member and you get access to certain things. Paid members have access to more things on the website. But I appreciate everyone who's checked it out. There's some fun games and tools. And the more people take part in that, the cooler it gets, if that makes sense.
100%. Some big videos coming out this week too,
Yeah,
Jesse.
we do. We've got our mock draft. Your mock draft, actually.
Well,
we have a Richmond
ours,
deep dive.
Jesse. It's
Thanks.
our mock draft.
I guess I made the simulator. We have a trade video and we have a Richmond deep dive in the same vein as the Essendon one last week, which has got a lot of views. So I guess people enjoyed it.
Love that.
We'll continue those
Love
as
that.
a series.
We'll wrap up and we will see you all. We're back next Monday. Other than that, you'll see the videos come out. And we've got some streams, watch-alongs in the pipeline.
We do.
And we've got some new content coming out. So we'll keep you posted on all of that stuff. Go and check out the website, truefooty.com.au, and we'll see you in the next one.
Go.